Hello and welcome to the Pop Tab Podcast, the podcast that's as sweet as soda for breakfast, which pretty much means it's not for everybody, but for those who like it, there ain't nothing better. I am Brent, also known as the upholder of the unpopular opinion. Joining me today is
Stokes.
Haha. Pop Tab Podcast is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. If you want to be part of the action, you should head on over to twitch.tv/realpixel to check out the VOD and be in the chat just like Zombie Shantae is right now. If you're like, Brent, I don't like watching podcasts. I like listening to podcasts. Well, a good spot you should check out also is Real Pixel on Patreon because it'll have a full audio version once the stream is over. So you can just listen to the podcast instead of have to see our faces while you listen.
Real Pixel's only free Patreon.
Correct. Completely free Patreon. You don't have to pay anything. There's not a bunch of levels you have to decide to figure out what you want to get. It's all free. It's just the main hub to get everything Real Pixel, news, announcements, all that different stuff. Shantae, we missed you as well. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Hello.
So how the show is going to go, if you're familiar, which you're not because it's a new show, we start with housekeeping. Homekeeping. We start with homekeeping, housekeeping. Just go through a little bit things for stream, how the future of the week's going to look for different things for Real Pixel. And then we also cover anything that we watched or partook in, whether it's events or games or whatever's happening, just to keep you up to date with what's happening in kind of everything with Real Pixel. And then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the news of the movies, the video games, a little bit of anime, anything else that strikes our fancy. So pretty much the housekeeping for this week is a big thing. Next week, the podcast won't be on Tuesday. It's our second week, and we're already messing it up.
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Stokes is busy. It's really my fault. He gave me months' notice, and I decided to start up Real Pixel again the week before it was going to be thrown into upheaval.
Yeah, he wanted Thursdays. I decided Tuesdays, so I threw the 23rd into the way.
That is true. I was thinking Thursdays, but Tuesdays, there was a lot of things to juggle, and we didn't know where it was all going to land, but now Tuesday will be off next week. I will be streaming probably Elden Ring instead because I'm very excited to get into that. I was going to stream it this week.
About time.
But something else is happening, which we'll get into. But we will do a podcast next week. We're just going to do it on Monday, probably around 11 noon. We haven't really 100% decided, but we'll probably be doing it Monday in the kind of the middle of the day instead of at night, just to get a podcast out that week. And then the week after that, we should be back on Tuesday at this time, unless something terrible happens.
Totally possible. I'm knocking on wood. It's coming, whether we want it to or not.
Hey, James. Thank you.
I say, do we call him
the
whole time?
I really was gonna I was thinking that I should just stick with stream names, but I fumbled on pronouncing it. I almost started with I almost said Geminicus. Yeah. So I just said James. But thanks for joining, James. Thursday stream when I was going to do Elden Ring. Very excited. I was like, finally, I get to jump in. There's actually a beta for a new game me and Stokes are excited about. Concord is happening that day. So we're going to be playing Concord. I think the beta servers go live at 1. We probably won't be there then. We'll be hopping on a little later. But we will be playing that day. So that's what we're doing Thursday. Mm-hmm. Friday, I've got the rest of the crew. Alec, M, and Bethany are all coming up to play Party Animals with me, and we'll probably be doing some drinking. I wanted to do drinking and Mario Party, and because I won the last Mario Party so handedly, they voted Mario Party out, and we're doing Party Animals instead.
Yeah, they didn't seem like they had fun the last time. I mean, they smiled while they were like, this is what was destined.
They always fun
lose this game
until the end, and then they just choke, and I win. And I have no fun throughout all of it.
It sounded like you had an early. Well, I guess Alec had the earliest lead, but then you.
It was a 20-round game. Around 18, I probably had the game in the bag. But it was 2 turns. There was still a lot of play.
I don't know.
Either way. So we'll be playing Party Animals. And then Saturday and Sunday, no streams. I got family coming up. Got a lot of stuff going on. But we'll be doing things all weekend. And then, like I said, Monday we'll be returning with a podcast instead of Tuesday. Sleepy Tato, we have Rad Soda.
Tato?
Tato.
Not Tito?
I'm pretty sure it's Tato. M, how do we say it?
Anyway, yeah.
Rad Soda, new soda we're going to try. We just got them in, so we're going to check them out.
Yeah, they're just like a a low sugar drink and no sugar added, so they put in like fruit juices to make them sweet. I don't know. It could be a stevia-like thing. This could be terrible. I got an ad and just bought a case. So we got all the flavors.
Cool.
This is all that they have. We are not sponsored, unfortunately.
Not yet.
We just like tasting sodas.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge, Rad Soda. Tato. Okay.
Potato. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sweet potato. Like potato. I believe that's where it came from. Just spelt that way.
But that's not how you...
It had something to do with potatoes, if I remember right. I might be completely wrong. So last thing in the housekeeping is what we've been watching or playing, and then it says letterboxed check-in.
Remind me to tell you a joke about that name after stream.
Okay,
It's
mic.
not stream ready.
All right, good to know.
If you watch this VOD later, it's gonna be 3 days. You're gonna be like, hey, you have that joke.
Oh yeah, I am.
Now you know the context. We'll go off of that.
Sweet.
Yeah, I put it in the notes as letterboxed check-in. I don't know why I put check-in, but just like because we're kind of checking in. They're checking in with us. We're checking in with them.
Mm-hmm.
But letterboxed, you familiar?
I am.
Do you have one?
Sorry, you're just a little quiet. I'm turning you up. I do not.
You do not have a letterboxed?
I do not.
Well, I need you to make one going forward so people
okay.
can follow us and see what we're watching and hold us to it.
Okay.
Free account. But anyway, letterboxed is just because I diary entry all of the movies.
Yep.
It tells me the day I watched them. I tag them with people I watched them with, and then they get a heart or not from me. But you can add stars. You can put reviews. You can like other people's reviews. You can do all those things. So it's also a good spot to put if we have like a top 10 movies of the year we do, you can put them into a list, and that's permanent and separate so that people can just be like, what were their top 10 movies of 2024?
Gotcha.
So I think when we make lists going forward, it'd be a good place to like link to, attach, reach out. But then if we have a watch list thing, or if we end up doing like a weekly homework or something, we can put all of this into Letterboxd and just have a spot people can see us. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, so this is just movie check-in really, but we
Gotcha.
should call it Letterboxd. They call them the rushes. Letterboxd themselves do.
The rushes.
Yeah, when they send you they send like a weekly email of just like, here's what's going down on Letterboxd, like on the site, here's what the top movies of the week are, here's highest grossing things, here's watch listed things, whatever. They call them the Letterboxd rushes. Almost like a newspaper rush, like a you're getting the rushes, or like not a newspaper. I meant like a daily edit.
Gotcha.
Like a dailies, like give me the rushes.
Give me the dailies. Okay.
Yes.
Because I heard you said rushes, and I was like a sorority, like you're.
You're rushing.
I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird way to do a movie site. But
very Greek of them.
I think you brought up when we were watching, because I forget what day it was now. Friday? Was it Friday?
I could tell you it was the 12th.
The 12th, which was Friday.
There you go.
We went and we watched a couple of movies, and you're like, man, my letterbox is just crazy right now with the movies that you watch back to back.
Oh yeah, like just what I watched in order.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't get any better.
Okay.
It didn't get any more to put together.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we can start on the 12th. Although I guess before that, I did watch Maxine. I did watch Long Legs. So those are things I could talk about. But
Long
did
Legs.
they feel too far away? I also don't want to mention Long Legs because hasn't been long enough, and it has a mystique about it.
Right.
You know.
I saw a TikTok of
Sfeel.
Another podcast. Sfeel.
Maybe I shouldn't just exclaim names if we're going to have this as a VOD. I'm just so excited to see Sfeel every time.
I mean, I wanted to give an audio option, but obviously the best way to consume it is video because we'll have chat on screen. We'll be doing stuff. So if you are listening to audio later,
and you just have it on YouTube later, so you could get the mix of both.
It's a little bit more visual. We'll be watching trailers. There's going to be a lot of visual elements. It's just an aspect of the show. But for the people that do just want to listen in their car, I do it my last, however long of my workout is always like cardio something, and I just usually switch to podcasts instead of music because I'll just get bored running or biking.
That's funny. Music. I podcast on the cardio stuff and then go to music when I'm working out.
Yeah,
I get that's probably supernatural.
Probably
supernatural. Very natural, maybe I should say, but it's just funny because we have so many trailers.
There's so many
that we want to watch. I mean, and this is like just a week's worth.
Yeah.
I think one of the trailers was a week old today. Mm-hmm. So like I think we would have watched Gladiator 2 last Tuesday if we were doing this weekly, but otherwise, I mean, like this is a pretty normal amount. So people are going to have to audibly sit through like 6 trailers. I don't know if there's like we're going to have trailer time. Let's cut around it, but we want to talk about it. So
yeah, I've been in debate about having the trailers or different content like that, but it's like, I mean, we'll still do the podcast or the audio version when we do like the Nintendo spotlight and all that stuff, right? And that's a video that's constantly going. We're just talking over it.
Yeah, probably.
So,
I mean, it's definitely going to be a VOD. That'll be the way to watch it. But anyway.
But anyway, the long legs. The one thing I saw on TikTok, another podcast that I follow, they went and saw it. They was like, "This is us before long legs," and then it says, "This is us after," and they're all kind of staring off in distance. And one of them just goes, "Someone brought their kids to this," and that was it. That's all I know about long legs, besides the trailer we watched a long time ago.
I have that same review, but someone did that for X.
Oh yeah.
And that's the one I'm like, long legs it's like a Silence of the Lambs kind of thing where you're like, yeah, it's not for kids, but it's also, is that going to traumatize anybody? Like, I don't know. But X has some,
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, Silence of the Lambs.
So it's about porn, so it only makes sense to bring your 8-year-old or whatever. Except it was a grandkid, I think, just based on the ages of everybody. But
so that's one of those situations you think even if they don't know what they're walking into, certain point in the movie they walk out.
They didn't. There was one point that before the movie started, that grandma and this young girl walked out, but they just went to go get snacks.
Oh.
And then when we were in the movie, they were all like collectively laughing, like appropriately at, funny things you should laugh at.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I was like, oh, you're into this movie. I don't think this was an accident. And they stayed the whole time. But it was like when porn scenes were happening, I was like, I could feel this like aura of an 8-year-old. Like they were about 2 rows behind me on my left.
Oh, they were behind you. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I could hear them laughing so
gotcha.
Easily, not too easily, but
in my
enough.
Head, when you tell me the story in the past, I've always pictured them like 2 rows ahead of you. Like you can see the trauma happening.
I'm a closer to front kind of person.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So maybe that's it. But yeah, no, it's that I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. Is almost even worse. Because if I could like peek down and be like, oh, the kid's covering their eyes or something, but I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I was worried that it was an accident. And I was like getting almost like secondhand. But if they came
yeah.
fully by themselves, be like, cool.
And if it was an accident, once they left and got snacks, they were committed, right? They're like, I guess we could stay for this one. Let's go grab snacks.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. So you got those two. What other ones do you want to go over?
Those two. Oh, well, what you and I watched.
Yep.
Infested.
Fantastic.
Double featured with Sucker Punch.
Also
the
fantastic.
Extended director's cut. Well, you can see I had a good streak of hearts going, and then we watched Sucker Punch.
Well, that should be hearted. You're wrong on that front.
Well, the heart to me, when I say it's got a heart or not, is not whether the movie was good or was bad. It's would I rewatch this? And I don't think I need to rewatch
Sucker Punch.
If I did, it wouldn't be the extended edition.
To be fair,
because you loved it without. This isn't a Lord of the Rings thing where it's like, oh, there's only one way.
The extended edition was only 20 minutes, and it's been so long since I've seen the original. I can't say exactly what was missing, but I really don't remember the
Oscar Isaac musical number.
Music number. That when that started happening, I was like, maybe I don't remember this movie as well as
I didn't want to say I was worried because I don't dislike musicals as a genre. But I was worried the whole thing was going to be a musical and I didn't know it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Dude, I would love to watch your Sucker Punch.
Oh my gosh, Shantae, I watch Sucker Punch every 6 months or so.
Thank you, Shantae.
So here's the thing. Brent loved this movie. When did it come out? We say 2011.
2011.
So he's loved this movie. You watched it when it came out, right?
Yes. I was working at the movie theater. I saw it in the theater. I walked down. I was like, I love that movie. And everyone around me is like, God, that movie sucks. And I was like, oh, I should really be quiet about my love. This was before I was very loud and proud to be confrontational.
Yes, the upholder of the unpopular opinion.
Exactly. Yeah. This was very much a time where I was like, yeah, I only like the movies other people like, or the classics, or the things that are okay to talk about. Before I could shout from the rooftop, Spider-Man 3 is the best Spider-Man, and stuff like that. So,
but for 13 years you've loved this movie, and it wasn't until maybe a year, but it was probably like 8 months ago, that you learned there was an extended edition at all.
I had no idea.
Just didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
Might be the only time I agree with Brent on a movie. Well,
thank you.
That's fair.
You have every weapon you need.
There were a lot of characters to have the hots for in that one, Shantae. So I don't think you're wrong pointing that at any person on that film.
That's true. It was that movie and the Speed Racer adaptation. Those two movies came out, didn't get appreciated, and that's why it's been so long since we've got a good anime adaptation. Because that's what those movies are essentially anime adaptations. One is directly,
yeah.
One is pretty much, and both kind of got shunned. Why do you think we ended up getting Dragon Ball Super and not Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Evolution, I think is what it's called.
That sounds right.
Why do you think we got those when we couldn't appreciate what we had? That's the problem.
I didn't watch any of the anime.
That's fair.
Whatever you want to call them.
Adaptations,
I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Evolution, I don't know what that is, but Speed Racer is not even, it's like a reimagining because it's the characters are the same, the story's completely different, but it's fucking wild ride.
Yeah, well.
So anyway, you didn't like you wouldn't rewatch Sucker Punch.
I would not watch that one again. I don't know if I'll ever need to. I think I got it. I locked it down.
I almost watched it again that night.
Is there what?
Well, because
what? We finished it at 6:30. That's like a all right, start it over. Like hit rewind right now kind of thing.
We were all looking for a movie to watch that night, and I was like, man, I just watched Sucker Punch. That was a blast. Had any of you seen it? And Alec, Em, and Bethany were like, no. And I was like, I'd rewatch it again right now if we want to watch it. We decided on The Beekeeper instead.
Which was great.
Which was a total fun watch.
I mean, great for you. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I think it was.
That was not my review of the movie. I don't really remember.
It was a perfect Jason Statham action movie. The only thing I could like...
Oh, I got pages.
I only had one complaint about it was like, I didn't need to see Jason Statham get hurt in this movie. He could have walked through everything and I would have just enjoyed it just the same.
I watched The Beekeeper on January 17th and I gave it a heart.
You'd rewatch The Beekeeper, but not Sucker Punch. That's pretty crazy.
Well, is it?
Do you think we get a sequel to Beekeeper? You think we get more of that?
No, they didn't leave it open, right?
Kind of. But I want.
I mean, the president's alive, I guess.
I want to say that in a world where we're getting the Accountant sequel. So
yeah, I mean, but he's also director producer on those movies, right? So it's like when you're actor, director, producer, and you're Ben Affleck, you can kind of do whatever. He won best director. Like you're pretty set to just make whatever you want to make, right?
Yeah, he won it for The Town, right?
No, he won it for Argo.
Oh, Argo! I forgot. Yeah. Argo is really good too, but The Town I think is better.
Oh no, you're right. It is. The Argo got Best Feature, and a lot of people argued it's because he didn't get nominated for Best Director when people thought he should. That's what it was.
Okay,
whatever. He's good. He's got his Oscars.
Yeah.
You know. The only other movie I watched last night with Colin. So it was an Amazon Prime slumming around trying to find something, and we found 1992's Split Second.
Is that the one that's the movie told in time with Johnny Depp and...
Nope.
Okay.
No, this movie, I had never heard of this movie.
That's Nick of Time, I think.
I don't know. No comment on that one. I don't know. I don't know where to go with that. But it's Rutger Hauer, it's Kim Cattrall, and it's bonkers. It did not get a heart from me.
All right.
So a one-time view is all anyone ever needs. But it was just so messy. And I promise you, the whole crux of this guy's character was he is addicted to caffeine and chocolate. And by caffeine, it's just coffee. But that was he's like, he runs on anxiety, caffeine, and chocolate. And they said that, and I thought it was a funny throwaway. And I was like, oh, that sounds like my wife. And then I was like, oh, shit, he's got bags of chocolate everywhere. He's got like a hoarding problem in this movie. And he's got chocolates stuck to his fridge. And he's got sexy-ass Kim Cattrall walking through this house. You know, she has to move donut bags out of his shower so she can take a shower in this movie. And she's all clean walking through his house, and she just peels a chocolate off of the fridge and eats it. And I was like, what are we doing?
Well, like,
this is it. Just
unwrapped chocolate?
Like,
Literally like...
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know how it was stuck there, but it's funny because as the movie goes on, you don't see anyone else eat them, but they start missing from the door. And then there's like an alien that they're trying to fight because this is the far future, Brent. This is 2008, which it was made in 92. So I'm like, what? This isn't from the 60s.
16 years later?
16 years. I was like, this was made in the 60s, but 2008.
Hell of a year.
It's a climate change movie where London floods and there's no more sunlight because of smog, and the whole world just goes like cyberpunk.
So you're saying they were braver than the people of Twisters?
We'll get there.
I'm
glad you read that article lightly, but so it was just like dark cyberpunk Rutger Hauer.
God, I love Rutger Hauer.
He's a renegade cop who doesn't live by the rules.
To be fair, when you're like
loose cannon, and he gets with a guy named like Dick Dangle or something like that. That's the
Of course.
But Dick Dangle, after reading this actor's history, he's like so many famous voices in video games. I was like, oh, I've never seen you before, but I guess I can now recognize your voice. So the movie was fun and worth a watch, but
okay.
The fact that Kim Cattrall's eating fridge chocolates and I'm supposed to believe it, impossible.
I mean, when you say Rutger Hauer and you go, the movie's bonker, I'm like, can you name a non-bonker Rutger Hauer movie?
I mean, Blade Runner is not too bonkers, right?
I mean, Blade Runner is a bonk. Like, it's supposed to be.
It's not called Hobo with a Shotgun.
To be fair.
Anyway, that's what I watched this week.
Okay. Cool.
And that was just this week.
I'm deep into One Piece. I'm on episode 500 and something. I can't remember because we watched
that's
one
halfway.
earlier. I mean, it feels deep. Okay, it feels
500
deep,
episodes should be deep.
I was gonna say it's got to be. I'm trying to think. It has to be the most episodes I've watched of anything ever, right? Does anything?
No.
No.
How many times have you seen Gilmore Girls?
No, like.
How many times have you seen the newsroom?
Oh,
okay.
Like
well, then
new episode.
you've never watched anything that has that many episodes,
right? I'm trying to
so
think.
it's kind of unfair, right? Let's
many
crack
episodes
into
is
one of these
Simpson?
sodas. I'm just staring at them and they're getting warmer.
Oh, okay, yeah. What do you
These are
wanna grab?
cold.
We don't talk about One Piece because there's gonna be. I'm gonna be watching One Piece a long time. One Piece, Shangri-La, Frontier, are the two animes that I'm into right now. I just finished Windbreaker. I would strongly suggest, really all three of them, but Windbreaker's got one season. It's approved for a second. Check out Windbreaker. Shangri-La, I'm only about 4 episodes in. I'll let you know once I get to the end. So that one is which
that
one?
Smelled great.
Ginger
Citrus.
So I think this is the one that you will probably like, and I probably won't because I'm not a big ginger person.
It's less carbonated than I expected, but it's really tasty. It doesn't have quite the stevia flavor of our
The green
famed
can, as you can
Zevia.
see, is.
Oh,
Oh, that's actually.
I didn't notice that. Yeah. Whoops.
That's not actually too bad. That's
No,
not
it's
a strong ginger.
It's pretty gingery forward though.
All right,
Like you might like ginger if you.
I'm gonna grab cola.
Cola?
'cause
I thought you'd be doing fruit punch, dude.
Let's grab this.
Could you
real
do that
quick.
away from Mike?
Yeah.
It's called Pop Tab Podcast. Does it taste like cola? It smells like cola gummies. That doesn't taste like cola.
No, it reminds me of like Moxie, where it's like this is cola, and you're
yeah,
like,
it's
I don't
cola.
think this is cola.
This is sarsaparilla.
That's
Mine's
all right.
good.
I'll drink through that.
I mean, it still tastes good.
Yeah.
It's not cola.
All right. So we're probably already running late, considering we're 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
But let's get to the good stuff.
What games you been playing?
Oh, games.
Because that was next on the list.
oh,
We're-
yes.
We're trying this list thing out.
That's true. Games. I've been playing a lot of First Descendant.
Too much.
Too much First Descendant.
Maybe
too
we'll
much,
talk about it.
Too much First Descendant for someone who hasn't beaten the story. Because I've just been sitting in the same 3 regions until everyone else that I'm playing with gets on and plays with me, and then I keep bouncing around those 4 regions, and then they get on, and we can extend again. So I'm really liking it. It's a lot of fun. I wonder, once I get to the end of the story, how much I'm going to like the grinding like I do right now, because I know there's something in front of me. Once you take everything away in front of me and it's like there's just grinding, I wonder if that's when I'll peter out. I don't know yet.
Almost certainly, but there's also not been a release schedule announcement or anything. Right?
Yeah,
like,
for any.
What's a new Descendant look like? Is there a story update? Are there going to be yearly Is it going to be First Descendant : The Great Awakening?
Yeah.
Is that like the first expansion, and is that what everybody gets? Is it free? Is it? I don't know.
I haven't read up into it to see if there's anything announced or planned. My surprise is it's week whatever, and they haven't had any new cosmetics that I could buy. You would think they'd come out with like 10, and then the next week there'd be 3 more, and then 3 more. There'd just be like constant reasons to spend money.
Yeah, I mean, this game's in beta, right?
No, I think it's a full release.
Is it a full release? Yeah.
If it is in beta, I mean, it feels like a full release. Like everything.
I mean,
in it.
a full free game release.
Yeah,
at least
you know
you know.
I mean,
it is what it is. But
with the way games are now.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything for stream. I can't wait to get into Elden Ring, and then I'm still every week Halo challenges.
Well,
never go
no
away.
need to check in there. I mean, I guess I could tell you I'm playing Destiny.
Yeah, right.
I play that game. I do my Pinnacle stuff. I play, but AC Valhalla. That's the one I've been playing. I'll push on that more when I start getting to expansions and things. But I've really been enjoying Assassin's Creed again.
And the big thing with Valhalla was you didn't like it, and then you
Twice.
turned a corner. Twice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember I told you I mean maybe that was just me talking to James. I guess maybe you were doing something, but there's an intro world. You're like in the motherland before you go to Britain.
Britain.
The UK, like that's.
Oh, okay.
They are the Britons, but like before it's Great Britain or
Gotcha.
the UK, whatever. So, yeah. So you're in like an intro island where they're kind of teaching you everything, and you have to like sort of conquer the final boss of that area, which is just some normie, to be like, all right, on to bigger, better shores with my brother who's being sent to like fief this area, and then it opens up the map. First time I played it, I got on the ship, got to the land, and I was like, oh, this is like base building too. I'm done.
Okay.
I was like, I have the PlayStation 5 had just released. I was like, I got 10 other games I want to play instead. So I probably played like whatever, Miles Morales or what. Just got out of it. Decided to come back to it before Mirage, whenever they announced that, or maybe it was the Valhalla expansion. I don't know. And I gave it 23 hours and 40 minutes based on my save file. That's a good chunk of time. And I had done a lot of the story. I mean, from what I can measure, there's like a map that has like actual daggers in them. Once you finish, you like kind of gain the reputation of amongst these areas. And when there's going to be some great final battle that you're going to call all of these allies in. And you can start it earlier. You can get everybody.
Gotcha.
I probably made it about halfway through that, like all of them, you know?
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of like quitting Breath of the Wild when you get 2 of the Titan powers or whatever.
Okay.
It's just like I could go do Ganon right now, but I'm not going to. But also there's so much, I don't know. I liked it. I don't remember quitting on purpose, but I just did.
You just put it down.
But, you know, we had a store, so there's probably other reasons I stopped playing.
Yeah.
And when PCs break, maybe I played it in that time and then got the new PC and I was like, oh, I'm back on Destiny. Who knows? Things ebb and they flow, but I'm really enjoying just roaming in this game now. So
I think what's exciting for us, maybe a little bit more coming up with games coming and like being Concord and be like, cool, we're going to jump on that, is what the last 3 years we've really been out of video games.
Yeah.
Because we've just, our lives have been, we're taking
even
up
the
so
games
much.
that I love, like Destiny. I'll just be like, I there's no checklist for me to complete. I have checklists other where I have to go do. Let me go do those.
Yeah.
It's like I was getting almost like addicted to checklists here that I had to go home and like keep checking something off to felt like I was doing anything. I mean, I know you feel like that all the time.
Yep.
That extends to your everyday life all the time, forever and ever, amen. I don't have that, but
yeah,
I am an achievement-based gamer, so I like a checklist. But it's nice because this one has the checklist, but it's dots everywhere. So it's like if I go left, I'll find it. Hi, Panda.
Panda. How's
Welcome
it
to
going?
the Real Pixel stream. Have you ever been here before?
I mean,
show
yeah,
you
who's
around.
this Panda guy? I mean, Alan Wake 2 came out. I did beat it. I did make time to beat it and stuff, but New Game Plus came out. I didn't touch it. DLC has dropped. I haven't been able to touch
I don't
it. Like,
know,
it's
man.
so much.
You chugged that game.
I did.
And then it was like, sweet. You burped it and just kept going. Like, there's an expansion you haven't done. Have you gotten all the gamer score? Have you done all the thing? Have you beaten it on the different systems? Have you like done your psychopath
No,
shit?
now that I do have PS5, I'll be able to do that. And now that we have access, I have access to a PS5.
You can say you have a PS5.
You know. Your set looks good. Congrats on recent success. Thank you, Panda. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Panda.
Speaking of the set, I think it's time we move to the next one.
The next set?
The next set.
Oh. Oh my gosh, we're in a movie theater.
We're in a movie theater.
I love it
Whoa.
here.
The cup will probably look really bad. I'm going to put it way over
The
here.
cup looks bad?
Well, it's because you can see through it. The green screen's kind of like...
Oh, yeah. You're drinking green screen.
germs, yeah. Let's talk about movies. We're going down the list. I see here you added in...
What do you think about this format? I mean, we're pretty open here. So I got topics within the topics. First topics are movies. Sets within that go box office, trailers, news, releases this week.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of like going with, how did it do last week? What new things do we have to talk about now? Is there any news? Because that can extend forward a bit, and then it's like truly what's happening in front of us. How do you feel about that?
I think it works good.
Is there anything that like do we need to talk about box office?
Box office is the one thing that I could see could drop away, but
Like
I
if
think
it just doesn't matter.
But I think it is important for big things. Like I like the things you put under here. It's not just let's go over the box office. What won the weekend? this won the week, because then in the next 6 weeks will be Wolverine
Despicable
and
Me
Deadpool,
4.
Wolverine and Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like, it'll just be like, that'll be the next 6 weeks of us talking about that movie. But I think certain ones that you put in our notes, I think that is they're interesting topics.
What I did, like if you actually, Box Office is a link. I don't know if you saw that, but if you click into that, it's like there's a website called thenumbers.com, the-numbers.com, and they are intense with their data. Despicable Me at the top currently for the week, for the month.
Oh goodness. Okay.
you're like, what's happening?
God.
I was trying to. There's so much data to process.
Yeah. I see that you put on here Despicable Me is the first animated franchise to surpass 5 billion worldwide.
You know, it's funny because I put that and I was like, is this all the different asterisks that like? There's always a professional record being broken every baseball game,
right?
And there's 600 of those a season. I'm like, does this make sense? It's like, oh, it's the first time the ball's been hit out left field and with a eastbound wind on a Tuesday. Yeah. You know, I was like, oh, that's fantastic. But an animated film is like, well, Disney. You know, it's just like I feel like there's something that would have happened there, but there's just they don't keep enough of the same franchises. I guess they did wrap Minions in on that.
Okay.
And there is an announcement of a Minions 3, so they're like, oh, there's that. But yeah, so interesting animated movie news with that. And then also Inside Out 2 could potentially become the greatest animated film of all time by measures of dollar bills.
Which is, I mean,
period. But it's so funny because this whole Pixar, is it not Pixar? Because the number one right now, I think I'd put it in there, is Frozen 2.
Yep.
It's about $100 million away from Frozen 2, which, perspective, Inside Out 2 domestically, non-domestically, was $571 million this weekend.
Jesus.
And it has not opened in Japan yet.
Despicable Me, the first one, came out when I was working at the theater, and I did a preview for the theater of that movie. And I walked out and was like, "Oh, how is it?" And I was like, "This movie is gonna do bad. This is a bad."
Oh, you didn't like the first Despicable Me?
Hated the Despicable. I don't. It's an animated movie.
I didn't have Letterboxd then.
It's an animated movie. I can't hate an animated movie. It's a kids movie. I thought that movie was gonna be enjoyable, and I got out of it. I was like, "Don't worry, guys. This isn't gonna be a big."
I mean,
thing.
if you watched it for
Slow
the first
weekend.
time now, do you think you would have recognized like, oh, kids are gonna love these Minion things? Like
maybe,
because I watch animated movies with the idea of like, oh, like what is the animal companion to all of these Disney princesses? I'm like, people are gonna love the chicken, people are gonna love the dog, people are gonna love the pig. It's kind of like I think of it. How is this gonna sell like merchandise and things wise? Maybe it's because I have kids in my life now. They're not my kids, but I'm around kids enough that I'm also like, oh, I'm seeing that Bluey's popular because parents like it, but also because you can sell your kid a Bluey playhouse and a Bluey clothing and Bluey Band-Aids and you know.
Yeah.
So I imagine you might view it differently and think of it as a potential success had you watched it.
When the first one came out, I was probably 22 or whatever. I don't even know how old I was, but it was like
you were still snobby.
Not snobby. It was just like
I was snobby then.
I didn't think of like kids. Like I was like, I walk in and go, "This is a kids movie. What is there good about it?" Like Iron Giant is a kids movie. That's a good kids.
Oh
movie.
no, there's plenty. I mean,
Despicable Me
is
not a good movie. But I
just don't.
I didn't see the Minions as anything. Like the Minions were just like, wow, these are really. Maybe also because
I can't think of the Minions and not think of that Mia Goth audio of her speaking Spanish to a reporter, but she sounds like a Minion.
Yeah.
Or it was like when I download the celebrity expansion for Sims.
Yep.
And she's speaking Simlish. I love those.
Yeah. So I was if I was a studio exec and someone pitched me Despicable Me, I was like, no, I would have missed out. I would have been one of those stories where it's like I turned down this movie role and yada yada, and I missed out on all that money. That would have been
that would have been you saying the what ifs.
And oddly enough, Inside Out, I didn't even see the first one. I
haven't either.
I watch all those movies. Bethany watches more than I do. I think she's seen it, but she hasn't been like, hey, we need to watch this, or has put it on multiple times. Like
I was surprised to find everybody. I mean, my mom and Jim have seen that movie. That's a surprise to me because they have not. They were like, which one's Coco? You know, and I'm like, okay. I'm just like I could name ones that I would assume are far more popular, but they're just like, no, what is it?
That's crazy. But good for them.
Yeah, so it's very possible that Inside Out 2 might become the most financially successful animated feature film of all time.
Yeah.
But the big one from the weekend is Longlegs.
I see that.
Longlegs had a $10 million budget including printing and marketing, which, as we know, you've probably seen all of the different viral things that have happened with the Longlegs marketing. Its marketing is insane, and many different studios and films should be taking notes because it's amazing. Do you think we know it's possible to overhype a movie. Like a movie could be hyped to be bigger and better than it is. Do you think that could ever be a bad thing for them?
For them?
Because financially it's always going to work,
exactly.
right? But it's like all you could do is ruin our expectation, but I don't know. That's
to everybody that isn't like a me mindset, because anytime somebody tells me Dune 2 is amazing, it puts it another 2 weeks out from me watching it. You know what I mean? Because like I didn't see it, and then everyone talked about how amazing it was, and I was like, cool. I need to forget how amazing it is before I watch this movie, or it's going to be boring, or it's going to be
for the sake of resetting your expectations.
Exactly. Like I need time. So for me, Dune 2 didn't get my money. It didn't need my money, but I'm just saying, like
that's true.
And a lot of people don't think like that. They hear it's good and
that wasn't for Dune's sake. That was for your.
That was just my own. I want to enjoy it, but I just can't with everyone telling me how good it is, because all I'm going to do is sit there and be like, well, it's not that good. No matter what happens, it could be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah,
I'll just be there like, that's not that good.
I mean, it's funny. I felt the same kind of way when Thanksgiving was in theaters. But my first available moment to watch it, because it was the holiday while owning a retail store, was Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I don't feel like watching a Thanksgiving movie right now.
Right.
You know, like, and I own the physical Blu-ray now, so someone got my money. Mm-hmm. But now I'm just waiting until Thanksgiving. Like, I'm still just like, why not? Just keep holding. Yeah. But it's the same kind of thing for you. It's too hype. Let it simmer. But I don't think there are plenty of other movies that you should be watching, or you could be watching, that you have no expectation for.
Right. But I don't think that's bad for a company, because a majority of people, if it's overhyped, if they show me the shots in the audience of like friggin' Paranormal Activity. Here's them in the crowd. Everyone's freaking out, or somebody vomited at this movie. It's so crazy. All that stuff. Even if people come on and go, it's not that bad. It's not that scary. They got that ticket. That ticket's been sold. Multiple tickets have been sold. They made the money.
Yeah, well, and I'm really hopeful that, I don't think the takeaway for executives is or should be marketing is important. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it should be.
I mean, it should be, especially this day and age and this point in where we're at with movies. But I think it should be mystique.
Yes.
Because that's the thing about Longlegs is it wasn't until the day of the movie, God, I fucking hate Twitter. It wasn't until the day of the movie I saw Nick Cage's face.
Oh, wow.
Which, I mean, turns out in the trailer you actually do see it. I thought it was a moment. I didn't know it was him.
Oh, okay.
So it never dawned on me that it was him. But and to be fair to the person who posted the photo, it was a moment in the movie, I think it's actually the cold open in a way, where it shows half of his face down. Mm. So I didn't even see his full face, even with Twitter, quote unquote, ruining it for me. That's the thing that I'm like, you just put Nick Cage's name up there and people are going to go.
Right.
And people did go. This is the highest grossing rated R film of the year so far. This is with an opening.
Yeah.
I should say opening. Not of all time. And we're about to get
and I was going to say
it'll be
next week.
Deadpool, Wolverine.
Yeah.
But the rated R, horror film, indie film.
Maybe Deadpool Wolverine's PG-13 this time. Maybe they just pulled it. Who knows?
Unbuy my ticket right now. No, I'm just kidding. I did put 70% of all of the ticket sales from this weekend were between ages 18 and 34.
I still fit in there. Just barely, but I fit in there.
By the time you, what movie? Nosferatu, right? No. Oh, you got another year.
I still got another year.
I had to do the math. I was like, I guess it's not this year. It's next year.
Slowly graying before your eyes.
By the time you watch Stranger Things, which you don't buy tickets for.
I just saw an ad, first look, and them all returning to send stuff. I'm like,
I didn't put that up.
No, that's fine. It's not anything you need to watch. They did a little thing. Go check it out if you really want to. But I do watch and I go, I'm excited it's ending because I don't want it to go on forever. But I'm going to be sad not being able to return to Hawkins. I do like every time something comes up.
You think they're not going back to Hawkins?
No, I meant like after the season's done. Like after the show's done.
You don't think they're going back to Hawkins?
You think they're going to do a whole...
You don't think...
I guess maybe.
Look at House of the Dragon, dude.
That's true. Hot D as it's known.
Yeah, I guess I've seen that written out, but I've never said it out loud. So yeah, Hot D, sure.
Hot D.
A lot of people are really excited about that week to week. I'm hearing excitement in Discords I'm in, and I'm like, good for you guys, I guess. I thought this would have died. I thought the interest would have floundered.
Season 2 is now, right? Maybe they get season 2. I didn't think it'd go any further. But then I look back and go, well, look at Walking Dead, though. How many different Walking Deads did we get?
Yeah.
How did that still go on? Cool. Well, you want to get into some trailers?
Dude, we've been waiting a long time to see these
There's
trailers.
a lot of trailers.
I feel like I'm having a weird withdrawal. I'm like, oh, a new trailer. Guess I got to
wait.
hold. And we're holding for more than a week.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
I only put a week's worth of trailers.
So let's get some trailers watched.
We're doing it.
Switch over to this.
Bada
This is
boom.
our watch.
Sorry, audio listeners.
Let's start. We're going to start with Captain America: Brave New World.
Wilson. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election. You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation, then what happens?
Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Sir, your inner circle's been compromised. Either you can't see that, or you don't want to. What if it's a trap?
Global power is shifting. You're just a pawn.
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
You're right. I'm not.
So there you have it.
There's the trailer. Brave New World.
So funny. Why? You don't need to put that joke in the trailer.
You really don't.
I mean,
in the movie, makes sense. It's like the Iron Man 2 is like, it's me, I'm here, let's move on. Like, cool. Yeah, we did the joke, but it is weird that it's in the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's so that people in the trailer can understand who the character is, but like
Because they
anyone
never say.
who knows the character by name, I suppose, or visually or whatever, would know that that actor's dead, right? Would know that this is who he is, and it seems like a weird thing to put in there.
Yeah. I don't.
Whatever. New look.
This movie blew my mind because when we were in Florida 2 months ago, was it 2 months?
It was May. So yeah, 2 months.
2 months ago, there were Brave New World toys at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
'Cause I was
we were
like,
getting
oh.
breakfast at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
before Disney, and we're like, oh yeah.
And I'm like, did this movie come out? And I was like, I don't think so. But I was like, well, there's Red Hulk. There, like, it showed the whole, like, everything. So the fact that, like, we had just now got the trailer, I'm like, this movie feels like already out to me. Like, I've already seen this movie, but I haven't. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I've already been in the world where this movie released.
I also hope that because they didn't explain it, and I know they did in the original Captain America trailer and other things, but I'm like, how does Sam throw that shield? Part of the bit was that Steve Rogers was like wicked strong because of super serum, right?
Right.
I'm just curious. I see that and I'm like, I hope I guess I don't care.
Well,
I don't really care
Sam
anymore.
trained, if you remember the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he was outside in the trees throwing that against mattresses.
I do remember.
So he trained to get there. He
That's
put in
right.
the work.
That's
Steve
right.
Rogers cheated.
That's he's enhanced,
Exactly.
which is the word they use for being on steroids now. Did you know that?
No.
That it's like if you're on steroids, instead of being like you're roiding or whatever, they call you just enhanced. I think that's fantastic. It's kind of taken away a little bit of the stigma, which is maybe not ideal, but
Well, you know.
anyway,
Next-
that was February.
February.
I'm excited.
Next trailer, we've got the new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer, which will probably show too much for our liking, but we're going to watch it.
Based on the thumbnail alone,
Yep. Let's see it.
they didn't have time to learn.
Back in civilian life, I wear a toupee. But nobody knows.
Everybody knows. Go.
Come on, girl! She's coming with us!
No, she's not.
Oh, yes, she
Fuck
is.
no.
Oh, yeah. Al, I'm back.
About damn time. You holding? I'm all out of devil's dandruff and I'm shaking like an angry vibrator.
Thank you, Al. We have company. Gracia.
That's Wolverine.
You're damn straight it is. Disney brought him back. They're gonna make him do this till he's 90.
Nice fake o'clock shadow.
It's a summer balayage from the French. It's meant to mimic the natural highlights of the sun.
It's a toupee.
It's a hair system.
I love your hair system, Wade.
Thank you.
Why?
Why did they show whatever Lady Deadpool?
Oh,
Gwenpool,
yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Oh, the whole Deadpool crew walking.
2 of them, right?
Well, it shows
her and the dog?
It shows her, the dog, but then it shows the Western Deadpool. Like it shows a whole line.
Oh, right. Yeah, it does
doesn't
have the
show
boots
them,
and
but
stuff.
it's like,
right,
oh,
right.
we're gonna get the
but it's
Deadpool
like,
cast.
Fuck. Just stop. It's in 10 days, the trailer says.
Also,
is the pre-sale ticket numbers, are they not good enough for you? What do you want, 3 billion?
yeah. Also, everyone's seeing the movie. That's gonna see the movie. Doesn't matter. You could put nothing else you can put in the trailer is gonna make people want to see this more, right?
There is the Venn diagram of people who dislike Lady Deadpool and like Deadpool. They're just 2 separate circles.
Yeah.
It's not like there's anyone who's like, oh, Lady Deadpool, I guess I'll watch it now.
Now I'll have to go see it. Now it gets my money.
Who are you?
I don't know.
The movie looks good.
Also,
I'll watch it.
If we're gonna do Deadpool and we're doing like all like, I've seen images of other, you've seen like them zooming on the trailer and this character's in the background, this character's in the background, and all this.
Sure.
You're like,
look, it's Giant Man's skull.
so if we're doing all those characters, it's not crazy that we were gonna see the other Deadpools. It's not like it's out of this world or out of the norm for Marvel to be like, let's just shove characters into this movie.
It's the Spider-Man No Way Home. Is that the third one? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. It's the Spider-Man No Way Home thing of everyone being like, look, it's like confirmed that these you're gonna go. Don't you want to be surprised? Like
our tickets were bought before we clicked the trailer, so it's like we're gonna go see
yeah,
it.
they literally were.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing I'm just like, I get like taking set photos and stuff, I guess, because you want to break the news and get a scoop or whatever. Unless you're like literally on the crew, don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you're, I live in this city and look, there's Superman right there. I get why those photos were taken and stuff. But when things start to become spoilers, like why stop digging? Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Just go watch it. Then you'll find out everything you need to know.
You know what was real crazy? Speaking of Hugh Jackman, when I was on the movie Real Steel.
No big deal.
No big deal. One of the guys that was an extra, he got the World Robot Boxing Federation logo as a tattoo while we were filming. He showed up one day to say, he's like, dude, check this out, and started showing people. And I went, that's got to be an issue, right? That means he took a picture, because how else did he get that logo to the tattoo artist to draw? And everyone was like, oh, that's so cool. And I'm like, how does no one find this as an issue?
You're like, there's a logic loop here you guys are missing.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's Real Steel. It's not a Marvel. No one cares.
It's Real Steel,
but
Wrestling Federation.
But I was like, how is no one finding this as a like? How will you? Why would you show anybody? Like, obviously, there's a problem here. But I don't know what happened to him.
It's also a wild tattoo to get.
I mean, probably because he probably doesn't do it all the time. He got to be in it, maybe because they were pulling.
Where's your tattoo?
Well,
okay, see, exactly.
I got a lot of tattoos. He may have gotten pulled out to be like in an actual scene. And then I don't remember seeing the movie, so maybe we got cut. Because there were a time where I got pulled out to be in a new scene, to do something, to be on camera, and then like they didn't even film it. They're like, now we're gonna switch it up on the day of. So I didn't get to do that. Maybe he got to do that thing, and then he got the tattoo, and he's excited. But it was okay. I'm moving to the next trailer because I wanted to watch this for a real long time. So we're watching Gladiator 2. I'm very excited for this.
I remember that day. I never forgot it. That a slave could take revenge against an emperor.
Where were you born?
I don't know. I never knew a mother nor a father.
You will be my instrument.
Who are you?
Did you hear that crowd?
The greatest temple Rome ever built.
The Colosseum. Because this is what they believe in. Power.
General Acacius, there are victories yet still to come.
Rome has so many subjects. She must feed them.
They can eat war.
The arena turns slaves into gladiators, the gladiators into free men.
You have something in you. I knew it from the start.
Did you now?
Rage. That rage is your gift.
This is about survival! Survive! Hold together, and when it charges, break for the wall.
Whose head could I give you that would satisfy this fury?
The entire Roman armies.
Too much.
The general will do.
Rome must fall. I need to only give it a push.
We make it out alive. All right. Hands on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Colosseum doors.
This ring belonged to Maximus. Now I give it to you. What is the dream of Rome?
Blood stains.
That people are not free.
Get the hell about your seats.
I was owned. Now I will control an empire.
I will not waste another generation of young men for their vanity.
Strength to honor! This is how Rome treats its heroes!
Hands on the mausoleum floor. Blood stains the Colosseum doors.
The gods have spoken!
I'm sad I have to keep watching that trailer.
Because it's going to be shown in theaters a million times.
Yes, and I will be there a million times before it's released. When did it say? Did it say?
I don't know. I completely missed it.
Let's
take a
see.
look at it real quick. I have seen the first Gladiator too many times. I loved
Truly.
the first Gladiator.
It's November 22nd.
And when I heard they were making Gladiator 2, and I was like, yeah, sure they will. And then when it actually started happening, I was like, yeah, sure it'll come out. And then they released the trailer, which I didn't get to watch till right now, and I went, oh my God, it's actually happening. Honestly, anything could happen to that trailer. I'm still excited. But the Coliseum filled with water, and there's ship battles, and I guess maybe sharks in the water. I don't know. It looked like that guy got
that's
killed.
not a maybe. There are sharks. There's shark in these waters.
Very excited. I'm so in. And it looks like it's probably going to be the exact same beats of the first one. Maybe he's not a soldier in the beginning and then he gets arrested, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
He's just always that going on that path. But it's going to go through him going through the rings in the Coliseum. Then he's going to fight the guy at the end. I don't care. I'm in. I'm sold.
No, that movie looks really great.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for the movie too.
Cool.
I do have to watch that trailer a lot more, I'm sure.
It's gonna be in front of Deadpool. It's gonna be in front of any big movie in the next.
And I go to the big ones and the little ones.
Yep.
So
and if they have a little movie where they don't know what to throw a trailer on it, guess what trailer's probably gonna be thrown on it. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, what's the next one? A Different Man. I don't know anything about this one.
A24 puts out a trailer, I'll watch it.
All right.
You know.
Hey, man. I know you. What's your name?
Edward?
Do you work for Facebook?
No, but I get this a lot.
Oh, hey, neighbor. People can be cruel, I imagine.
All unhappiness in life comes from not accepting what is. You know who taught me that? Lady Gaga.
This drug seems to have the potential to actually heal you. The implications are life-changing.
The face is falling off in clumps.
I'm sure it only looks like clumps to you.
Perhaps any potential risk is worth the reward?
Look at this guy! Look at this piece of man candy!
Can I believe my eyes? Edward! Who don't remember me? Oswald.
Hi. That guy's amazing.
What do you know about him? Who is he? He's leading a double life.
I'm getting this feeling I've messed things up for you.
You know how we idealize people when we're in love?
So I'm the idolized version of Oswald?
It's kind of brilliant seeing you who looks like you, but you're not yourself.
Let's just all start being honest with ourselves, old friend.
That movie seems pretty straightforward, actually.
I when the other I don't exactly know, but the very end where it shows a different man, and then it said a film by, and it clicked off of the name so fast, it was like not enough time to read it. I was like, wow, it really.
That's what that was. I was like, wow,
it shocked me how fast it went away. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll watch it, but
it probably won't come to our theater.
Yeah.
And anything that escapes the theater is pretty hard for me to catch up because I'm going back to the theater probably to watch something.
And it's not horror, so you won't go out and look for it.
I won't be seeking it. Yeah, yeah.
So it looks good. I'm glad Sebastian Stan can keep doing movies after, I guess, during Marvel. I don't know if he's still doing Marvel stuff. I don't know when. What's the bad guy lineup that they were supposed to be doing for Marvel? Isn't he in that? Not Thunderbolts. What's the?
Oh yeah, the one with
like
I almost said Ron Perlman, the other Hellboy.
Yeah,
David Harbour. Yeah. I don't know.
I forget the name, but I think he's in that. But I don't know where that is or what's happening with Marvel anymore. After Deadpool comes out, I guess Brave New World. I know that, but other than that, it's like Marvel could do anything.
Who knows what Deadpool's going to give us?
That's true. I guess we do know that Fantastic Four movie got a picture,
and it looks really cool.
It looks really cool.
Which actually, now that I think about it, it's Pedro and Joey Quinn, right? Isn't Joseph Quinn one of the seeing them in Gladiator?
Yep,
they're going to be in Fantastic Four. That's funny.
All right, next one we have is the F1 trailer.
Have you seen anything about this?
I think it's an Apple movie, right?
Yeah,
I saw a picture, an ad for Apple, just F1, and then the actors that I'm blanking on who's in it. But
9 days ago.
Okay. Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston, now McLaren, all have a speed on the straights. Our shot is battling in the turns. We need to build our car for combat.
How am I supposed to make that safe?
Who said anything about safe?
Yeah.
Really helping the guys.
You're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you, singing, we will rock you. Everybody, we will rock you.
That was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was
also hi Cole. I didn't say it while the thing was going on.
Hi Cole. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it.
You catch it. There's a VOD later. There's a VOD later.
It's not gonna be better than Gran Turismo, you know.
Yeah. Well, we got Gran Turismo, which is different because of the type of car, but we've also got Rush.
I have not seen Rush.
I'm good,
but I do like Brad Pitt, and I do like when he plays like the normal person more than when
Sure.
he's been doing his crazy.
Yeah,
like
as normal a guy as Brad Pitt can be.
As normal as Brad Pitt can be, except for in one shot in there, his teeth looked extra creepy. I don't know if he got like
Creepy
moving
teeth?
ears or something, but he like smiled and his teeth were like creepy. You know, it looked weird. It might be maybe it's
That
like
was
a
just
makeup
why
thing,
did they just play "We Will Rock You"?
Right.
And it's like that, when a movie goes, "Hey, fuck the story."
Here's
I'm
a bunch
like,
of shots of cars.
Oh, that's funny because I don't like cars.
Yeah.
But I went and saw Gran Turismo. You know what I mean?
Guess what? The story was cool.
Cared about it.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Do you think that's one of the most used songs in trailers? What if there's got to
You
be a
think
list
so?
out there somewhere? I'm trying to think of like the ones I hear, what I think about when I trailer, but that beat with that works really well with trailers. To the
It's
boom,
it's
boom,
gotta
change
be
scene,
it's
boom, boom, change scene, boom, boom. Like the rhythm works really well.
it's got to be something like In the Hall of the Mountain King or a Nutcracker or a you know. What I mean?
okay.
It's got to be something like that because it's so general use and open and broad, right?
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I might look into that. There might be a list. It'd be nice to go over. Maybe if I could find the list and have you try to guess some songs, I can give you like windows and times.
Ooh.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Next one we've got is Monster Summer. And this should be the last movie trailer we have for the day.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Trailer.
Let's get that gang back together again.
Ain't this old man Carruthers' property?
I've heard stories about him. Some people think he was a spy, bank robber. I bet their bodies are buried somewhere on this property. That's one in.
Where's he there?
What is that?
A teenager is recovering today after nearly drowning.
Hey, Ben. Something happened to Ben that I can't explain. It's like he's a zombie at Night of the Living Dead.
You okay, bud?
Oh my!
Awesome.
Hey guys, it's okay.
I'll
I
watch
invited him.
Easy, fella.
This is Gene. He's a detective.
Retired. Well, there's more of you. I'm gonna have to dig a mass grave now.
What? Something is out there. If we sit around and do nothing, kids are gonna get hurt, including us. It came after me, man. What came after you?
There's definitely something weird going on here. Monsters.
Yeah. You guys ready?
Not us. Who? Let's do this.
The kids have this vacant look in their eyes. Lights are on, nobody's home. You are overreacting. It's just kids being kids.
Gene. Gene.
No, I thought I told you.
Gene?
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's a movie that I think I have asked for they make again, but I'm like, why would they? Like the movie's made. I don't know how they remake it, and they gave it to me, and I go, wow, I didn't know this was coming. It looks like right on the edge of low budget, but it's got a bunch of names in it, so I don't know how it could be that low budget.
Yeah.
But you put a small town mystery, kind of scary kids.
Lighthouse.
A lighthouse. It's coastal town. I'm in. I'm sold. I'll be there.
Yeah, and it seems to be a coastal town because it's the gang's back together. Coastal town where everyone only goes for the summer.
Oh.
It seems to be that they must be kids from like other schools and stuff, and they're meeting at the summer spot, so they like have a time.
And that's why it's
budget,
like Monster
you know?
Summer.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
Yeah.
I
was like,
I'm excited.
When they said gangs back together, I was like, where have you been?
Yeah, what
and then I was
gang?
like, oh, I guess it's true that you might not live here.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm so excited for that, but I'm actually genuinely excited.
And I think his name was Mason Thames. He's a kid from Black Phone. He did really well in that movie.
Yeah.
So I think the acting and everything looks great.
Cool. Now that we're done with trailers, we're going to go through some articles. I don't know. I pulled them up over here so we can put them on the screen. Do you think we should just read them, or
there's only it's going to be like just a couple of quotes. In some of these cases, like the final one, I don't even have anything to say other than what the title of the article is.
Okay. Well, let's just go through it. I won't pull them up. We'll just
Did you happen to read any of these articles, though?
I did not read any of the articles because honestly, I was still setting this up when you sent it over to me. I read the titles and I tried to familiarize myself with certain things. I did think we could pull up the Hellboy images once we get there, but
yeah, that one is. I mean, it's only an image. It really is the function of Hellboy. But this one, the title of the article. It's interesting. It pulled up Screen Rant. Did you not find my article?
I did not. I just pulled up other ones just so we had something. But
they're links.
They're links, but I don't have Google on that computer.
Oh, okay. I was like, this isn't. I was like, this comes from Screen Rant. I didn't give it a Screen Rant.
Ignore that. Look, you go.
So the title of the article I found is
the
called
article we'll be going with
Why Twisters, the film, refuses to mention climate change, which is something that is near and dear to your heart.
Yes.
The changing of the climate and its reality and its non-falsehood. Have I told you about the far distant future, 2008, what happens to London? How underwater London is? No, anyway. So director of this movie, Lee Isaac Chung.
That's a name.
In an interview with CNN, why was he being interviewed by CNN is one of my questions. Like, that seems like a really interesting person to interview a director. Do they do that often?
Probably not.
Seems like it should be like a Good Morning America or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it's Twisters and it's like an age sequel and it's could tie into climate. Maybe they're like, hey, maybe there's a
there's
twist
something
to this
here
that I could use for. They didn't know. They didn't watch the movie. They didn't look into it.
They didn't get that twist.
They just went. Yeah, I bet you this could turn into something. I need something to fill page 12 today or something. You know, like
I get page.
Yeah,
whatever.
You know what I mean.
Well, anyway, he says in this interview with CNN, quote, I just wanted to make sure that with the movie, we don't ever feel like it is putting forward any message. I just don't feel like films are meant to be message-oriented. End quote. Another quote, he says later in the article.
Gotcha.
Quote, I wanted to make sure that we are never creating a feeling that we are preaching a message because that's certainly not what I think cinema should be about. I think it should be a reflection of the world. End quote.
That last quote's a little
is a crazy thing to say.
Back on itself, yeah.
How does someone become a big budget director without thinking movies have messages?
Yeah.
Or that they should have messages.
Now,
has he never received a positive message from a movie?
Now, if we go back to the first quote, I'm ignoring the second quote right
Ignore
now.
it.
Where I was in my mind,
maybe I should have saved it for the twist ending.
Yeah, where I was in my mind in the first quote, I was like, I could see someone going, "Hey, Twisters shouldn't be the movie that says a message because it's Twisters."
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, this
sure.
movie isn't the movie I'm going to stand on my soapbox and say a message.
And we could say that maybe more directly for like Fast and Furious.
Exactly.
I don't need there to be a message other than like which is funny because I still argue it's about the importance of family and relationships and all of these other things. But I can see where it's like we're not trying to get a preach a
right.
I guess is the word he used.
Vin Diesel tried to do on Instagram. He tried to set up a meeting with Putin.
Putin.
We don't need that in Fast 11. You know, we don't need that scene where Dominic Toretto somehow tries to mend the world's problems.
Yeah.
That's not the franchise. That's not the movies we needed in. And I could see him going, hey, Twisters isn't that movie either. And I thought maybe that's kind of what he was trying to say. But then the second quote made me go, no, he's just saying that all movies shouldn't.
There's that. But also, it's interesting because there's without going too much into it, the politicization of science and reality. And facts, and the fact that it's okay if, you know, as they say in this article, they said that they expected there to be a one-off line from Daisy Edgar Jones's character as she's like reading a radar.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I do this because of this. And they actually pull up, the Hollywood Reporter is who I'm pulling this from. They pull up the science of changing tornadoes in particular, which is interesting because there's not actually any more tornadoes, but there are more per day. Like the number is almost identical, but they happen together.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So it's like when they happen in doubles or triples, which is like, oh, that's kind of funny because it's like what the movie's about.
It's kind of the movie, yeah.
But they also have started extending far beyond Tornado Alley. Like they're spreading.
Okay.
Which is a unique thing, but that's like the climate change of tornadoes, which is unrelated. But it's funny because it was like, well, climate change has been in movies and cinema as like, trust me, I just watched Split Second. I told you about 2008 London and how underwater it is.
Yep.
That movie did not talk about fixing the environment or anything. Like the alien that came down wasn't because of the environment. It wasn't because of the darkness. It was like it was just a thing to set up because it's like, oh, it's a reality that's a message they were being told in 1992, a message we've been told ever since of just like, oh, look, climate change is happening and it's real. Like they also talk about in the article how the American Red Cross does 2 times as many national disaster reactions as they did a decade ago, that it's doubled. So it's like there's a reality to this and we can point fingers or whatever, but it's like it's okay that if you mention climate change, it's also not a message just to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can see where his argument is, well, it's going to turn people off from the movie, and I was directed by production to not do that.
The studio sat me down and went like, hey, do not mention.
Which is something he can't say, but he doesn't just say that.
No.
He goes, movies shouldn't have messages. But then I was saying, let's not ignore the second quote anymore, where he says, I think it should be a reflection of the climate change in Waterworld too, says Dominicus/James.
Is that also
We're trading dirt.
Are we trying to get Waterworld 2
to
happen? Because I'd
watch Waterworld 2.
100%.
He says, I think it should be a reflection of the world. Let me tell you. There's a lot. If we're saying that cinema is a reflection of the world, is it fair to say that the director is then the mirror, right? Like they're creating the reflection
Or
of
at
the
least
world.
holding
the mirror, directing the mirror.
pointing what to reflect.
Perhaps choosing what to reflect.
There you go.
Isn't there a message in what you choose to reflect?
I think,
Isn't that naturally, like that choice is a message?
I think, yeah.
It's like selective hearing. It's like if you hear the story of the world and you go, let's talk about Rome. Why?
I think
you have a purpose for choosing Rome. What's that purpose? The message.
Yeah, with or without intent, you're making a decision which is saying something, right? Which that's all a message is saying something. So
yeah,
like
even if that's it. Sometimes it could be nothing matters.
Yeah,
it could be so.
And you can try to not say something, but in the act of not saying something, you're saying something. You're saying that you don't want to say anything.
Yeah. The same way saying something is a choice, silence is a choice.
Yes,
mostly, unless you're in a coma.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fair.
It's mostly a choice. There's mute
yeah.
people out there, whatever. But
okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. We had one episode into us. Good night, everybody. We almost made it. Almost made it to the end. Yeah, that's crazy.
I couldn't believe it, and I'm still going to go see this movie. I love Daisy Edgar Jones and Glenn Powell. They have my heart.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I hope they kiss on screen.
It doesn't change my vision of the movie, but it is really weird to come out and say that.
Yeah, and like you said, it's also okay that I don't get any,
Yeah,
I don't have any sort of deep message put into my brain from Twisters.
But
that's fine.
It is so crazy that you're saying that essentially almost the plot of this movie is reflecting exactly what's happening in reality with climate change.
I mean, granted,
they just don't want to
fire
say
tornadoes and stuff that happen, whatever. But it's just like
weird.
I just thought it was also fun that Hollywood Reporter dug that info and was like, hey, like this movie's actually kind of based on reality. Like, hold on a second, this is kind of true.
That's wow.
And the science points to climate change being the reason. It's just So I thought I'd bring that up as a maybe movies do have meaning.
Yeah, every once in a while.
We like them to have meaning.
Good pop. I still got to get through this, but I do want to try the other flavor.
I'm gonna have to pee here soon, but we'll get there.
All right. So the next article we had was the neon.
Whoa! That orange flavor, rad. Okay.
Wow.
That is different. This is carbonated orange juice.
Yeah, that's not like the orange
with 20 grams of sugar.
That's not
or 20 calories.
Orange soda. Kel wouldn't be about that. That's not orange soda. That's That's if anything's been an orange carbonated drink.
These are
"That's orange
also we
drink."
didn't pour these ones out. These are kind of clear.
Oh, are they?
They have like soft coloring because it is fruit juice after all. Technically fruit and vegetable juice, but you can see where that's like a natural color.
Yeah, I can see that. It's hard to tell with the green screen, but this
very
is
hard.
the cola.
Anyhow,
Longlegs company Neon picks up Chris Stuckman's horror movie Shelby Oaks. This is reported. I pulled up on Bloody Disgusting. I thought that's where you would have pulled it up to, so I'm glad we got the same article.
yeah. Funny enough, this article was 7 hours ago, so we are up to date on the news.
Hey, look at
this
that.
week. I was talking about Shelby Oaks a lot with Bastian this morning as I was getting my hair cut.
So you have some info on Shelby because I don't know anything about Shelby Oaks, what it
Oh,
is,
really?
or who the director or anything.
Oh, really?
Not by name.
Chris Stuckman?
Nope.
Oh, he's famous YouTube movie reviewer. Like 2 million subs, like high level sub. I mean, I made up a number there, but it's in the millions for sure.
More than us.
Actually, let me get a number here.
Okay.
YouTube.com. But yeah, Chris Stuckman. I'm somebody who's just a fan of horror. Actually, Chris Stuckman is the one that during Halloween, he changes his set to be family video with VHSs and cobwebs on it. And I was like, holy shit, I forgot those shelves. I need those shelves.
Oh.
I've told you about my hunt for these shelves.
Yeah.
It's because of Chris Stuckman.
Oh, that's exciting.
Who I don't watch.
Chris, if you happen to see this or hear this, if you want to come on the show, just let us know.
I don't think Chris is going to look at
I'm just saying.
He has,
I'm throwing my shot.
2.04 million. Wow. That was a really great guess.
You were off, but it was close.
Well, and now the price is right. Were you going to guess 2.01?
Always. You always go one
that,
above.
That would have made good sense. That would have been a great guess, being that there's only two of us.
Yeah.
And you go second. Anyway, so he's someone who's been doing this for whatever, we'll say a decade. It's been a really long time. And fan of horror, whatever. But he finally got everything from, I think it was Kickstarter. Kickstarter, where he was able to make a movie.
Oh,
he got
good.
producers, he got whatever. He fully made a movie. Towards the end of the creation of the film, so it was already produced, filmed, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
New executive producer came on, one Mike Flanagan.
Have
you ever heard of him?
I may have heard of that guy.
You ever heard of Mike
Once or
Flanagan?
twice.
Yeah,
All
for
I
those
know,
who
I've
don't
heard-
know,
all
Haunting
I
of
know-
Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor. He's doing a lot of new Stephen King projects.
I was going to say,
he did
he's the guy
Gerald's
that I'm
Game,
mad at
Doctor
'cause
Sleep.
I haven't seen anything from Dark Tower yet. That's who he is to me.
Yeah, well, he has been confirmed to do a Dark Tower series for Amazon after the Midnight Society? Midnight Club.
The Midnight Club.
The Midnight Club debacle with Netflix.
He gave me a season and then trashed it.
That's not his fault. He actually ended up giving away the second season so Midnight Club pitched as a limited series, pitched to the audience as a limited series, actually turned out to be just a serialized thing of television where they canceled the second season.
It was limited because they didn't give us a second season.
But they must have known that because they didn't. They told us after the season was over, right? Or so then Mike Flanagan ended up giving away all of the scripts and storyboards and whatever to, I think, Tumblr, which I didn't even know was real until he posted on Tumblr.
Yeah, I didn't know it was still a thing.
But yeah, Mike Flanagan, Hush, Oculus, other things I've mentioned
Made good
already.
stuff.
Makes great movies. So he's an executive producer, came through and was cutting Chris's movie down, shortening it. And Chris speaks very highly of all of the changes. He's like, I was in my own project too much. I've been doing this for because he started pre-COVID. He got the funding. So he's like, I've been in this project far longer than anyone should. So I was not seeing correctly the forest and the trees. So that's why they looked for an executive producer to come in, and they got Mike, which is crazy. And he was like, whatever. The movie premieres this week at the Fantasia Film Fest, but in some variation of a preview, I suppose, it was picked up by Neon. Neon, of course, the production studio of and distribution for Longlegs. So I'm interested to see how the marketing of this movie goes, but you'll like it because it's from somebody who I think is us in a different font, but is also a hybrid movie of a standard, I think he called it a standard production, which whatever that means, and found footage. It's like a mix.
Well, then I'll be very excited for the Stuckman cut to come out afterwards.
The Stuckman cut, yeah.
Why are we cutting stuff?
Did he cut it to 2 hours? I don't know. But I trust Mike Flanagan, And Chris was happy that somebody else could cut it because he couldn't visualize. I think it was probably that he knew it needed to be cut. The producers and everyone were like, hey, this needs to be cut. And he's like, I just don't know how to do it. Let's get another guy. I don't know. There's probably a story there we could dig into, but that's months old news. Either way, really great that Neon picked up movies. That's also another thing that I think is, I pull that curtain back of filmmaking for friends every once in a while with things that they just don't know about filmmaking, like the fact that most A24 movies existed before them and they just bought it and distributed as A24. And that's why there's so many different production houses in front of that A24 logo. Or I guess they probably come after, but Talk to Me was one of those where it fully premiered. People had seen the movie at, I think it was South by Southwest. And all of a sudden, who's buying it, who's getting it? It turns out A24, great. That's just for distribution and marketing and things. So this movie is done, visible as of a week from now. Sirens.
I don't think
they can hear it, but if you can, that's on our end.
Yep, Sirens on our end. If you're listening to it in the car on Patreon, you're like, yeah, that's Sirens on our end. I've had that happen a few times.
I've had that happen many times.
Yeah.
So always love seeing something so indie and whatever. It's funny. So Mike Flanagan was announced to be part of the executive production team, and there was still a week left for like late Kickstarters to help with marketing funds, like whatever. In the Pledge Manager, you can do it. I almost paid the $100 so I could have a producer credit or whatever.
So your name could fall next to Mike.
Literally, so my name could be around Mike Flanagan's name. And I was like, yeah, but there's like 600 people on this list or whatever. It's a huge number. I'm like, that's fine. Turns out, I've shown you. Oh yeah,
last one.
Let's try this. What is it?
Tropical Punch. Final soda of the try for the people that can't see.
That's the winner.
That one's a good one.
That one tastes like natural pineapple.
I was gonna say I like this one a lot, and I did like the cola. It's not a cola in my eyes, but it's different.
But you like the tropical and the ginger. I like all of them.
I
think cola is probably lowest because I can taste the fruit in these. That one's like an already unnatural thing.
Yeah. Great sodas. Good job, Brad.
An irregular thing. A cola nut is a real thing, but
right. And I would say we drink a lot of drinks.
We drink a lot of drinks.
Good job, Rad. Those are good drinks. All of them are great.
Yeah.
I would drink all of them.
So another great thing about Rad, ordering it online, it was just over $1 a can.
Oh, really?
Which is like such a reasonable price. I think shipping was $8 for the 12. So add another quarter, 75 cents on.
Dang.
But if you just ordered it in bulk, like I did with my Zoas for Prime Day today.
Oh.
That wasn't that great a deal, Brent. I would have told you about it. But you could order all peach, which is what I did.
Oh, I see what you're
at the Costco price. Anyway, I found out we've been talking about Patreon, like getting the free Patreon set up and having everything in one feed and having its own app for things like us and other people you may follow very specifically. I have one person I follow on my Patreon. Her name is Haunted Hippie, and just a horror reviewer. Name's Kylie. Whatever. I didn't realize this, but she one of her subscribers is Mike Flanagan, and I'm in like production credits for being one of her like $5 or $10 subscribers. So I am next to Mike Flanagan.
Oh, there you go.
I was like, hey,
look at
that. Where's my IMDb credit? She's got short films in the works right now. She's got her second one coming out, liked. But anyway,
we'll get on to the next story.
I think the last story.
I got two more.
Two more.
One is just real quick.
Again. So Hellboy, this one we're gonna drag over because it's the image.
Yeah, I'm trying to make the.
Oh, you went to comic book something. Oh yeah, that's great. That's great.
Thought this was pretty good.
Oh, because your watch is on the other window. Because you closed out of the windows for the articles.
Oh, right.
We're pulling it up in a second.
Yep. Hold everything. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Oh, because we didn't pull up the second one at all.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you this one. Got it.
And we need
Hellboy.
This.
Boom.
Cool.
Bringing it over.
There we go. Now we're over. So here's the first look at the new Hellboy. Because we had Ron Perlman, great Hellboy.
Yep.
We had David Harbour, great Hellboy.
And now we have Jack Casey. It's K-E-S-Y. Kesey?
I don't know.
I would say Casey.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that, in my opinion, this will be the second reboot of Hellboy, and we have yet to get a bad Hellboy. I've liked all the Hellboys. And it's crazy that usually it's like I could see where we reboot it because a lot of people didn't like this or this was this or blah, blah, blah.
I think
like
Ron
every
Perlman's age is probably the only reason maybe Guillermo del Toro, they were like, hey, this is tied to him in some way and he doesn't want to do it.
He doesn't want to do a third
or it's like nobody, I could see the argument, no one wants a third of this because it's not like we want to make this long-awaited sequel. It doesn't have that kind of pull with the age group. It's like we need a new Hellboy for a new generation, a new whatever. But yeah, we're getting another one. I bet you David Harbour didn't want to do it because whether or not we liked the movie, which I also enjoyed the movie, biased because I love Hellboy.
You're right.
But that movie was reviewed poorly. That was like almost bombed level of, and David Harbour was getting a lot of hate, which was unwarranted.
Yes.
I love how ugly that Hellboy was.
It was very much, to me, the way he was kind of like in weird shapes reminded me of the novel,
the comic.
Yeah, just very like angular and weird looking.
So this one is called Hellboy the Crooked Man, which is also interesting. I can see why they wouldn't want to just do Hellboy. Because if I remember, that movie came out 2019, so it's been 5 years. Does that sound right? It's pre-COVID, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I went to the theaters, I believe. So I think it's 2019.
It feels so much long ago, but the 3-year window.
I know
the
Phantom time. Oh, we have 2 Phantom times.
Yeah,
we have the global Phantom time, which prepared us for our own self-chosen Phantom time.
Yes,
but so that's a great image to recognize that I've heard only that this is going to be more of a horror-esque story. That's all I have. We'll get a trailer eventually. We'll revisit the thought of this.
It looks good.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I watch it. Like I said, I liked all the other ones. And then the last story we have for the movies.
I did this one for you because I know you love Wuthering Heights.
I love Wuthering Heights. I think it's an amazing novel. They've done a couple movies. All of them have been okay. I haven't loved any of them. I don't think Wuthering Heights is an easy or a thing that really needs adapted. A lot of it is the trudge through the book to like end up at the end. I don't want to say a trudge because it's a good trudge, but you almost need to sit down with it longer than a 2-hour, 3-hour experience.
It's the novel equivalent of a slow burn.
Yeah,
where it's like, instead of it being the hour and a half, I guess, of a film or 2 hours. But
I think so.
I've never read it. I know nothing about this story. I hear it and I think of you because I know you like it so much. If I remember, you said it was your favorite book once.
It was, yeah, for a long time. Like I would say it's my favorite classic book. It's one that I can't reread.
Your favorite literature.
Yeah, like if I had to be like, there's like a window of time where there's like classic literature. Wuthering Heights is my favorite. There's literally a character in that book though that I cannot read his dialogue and understand because it's a dialect and it's a slang terms that I had to pull up like translations for this English dialogue.
But it's probably fair to say that she shouldn't be speaking in the language of the times for this movie. Like, would you? I mean, so Emerald Fennell is directing this. So I guess we never really said the name of the article. We haven't really spoken to it directly, but they're remaking this movie. Emerald Fennell is set to direct, known for Promising Young Woman and Saltburn more recently.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen either.
She's also what's her name, Midge, the pregnant Barbie in the Barbie movie.
Yeah.
She is also an actress. So she'll be making this movie. Considering that she has a name to herself now, I don't know. Saltburn, it broke some interesting records because it was on streaming, so it's really hard to measure.
Right, and you can always make up a record, right? We covered that earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's a baseball
record.
Yeah, but I think it was easier to break these records because streaming is so new.
Gotcha.
But either way, it was an Amazon-produced movie after her theatrical release of Promising Young Woman, which released during COVID, so it was like a really strange time for that, but got some Oscar nods and Globes and Emmys and whatever. So I think she's like poised to have this be a commercial success. So I imagine they're going to want to turn down the age of the movie. You didn't watch Saltburn. Well, you probably haven't seen either movie, right?
No, I haven't seen either one.
So Saltburn is a lot of visual without a whole lot of substance. A lot of people compare it to the Talented Mr. Ripley, except Talented Mr. Ripley did it better in every way.
Okay.
But visually, it's so unique, and a lot of people like it for that reason alone. And obviously, what's his name? Riley Keoughan.
Yeah.
Just a creepy little weird dude.
Yep.
So I imagine that they're pulling her because they're like, wow, she has this sort of Vaseline on the lens kind of glowy look to everything that might do well for a classic literature like this.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember, the reason she was in Barbie too is because she was good friends with the director of Barbie. My God. Greta Gerwig.
Yes.
Yeah. I just needed the first little bit. Greta Gerwig. So I think she was in Little Women as well. So she's done that period piece. Lady Bird isn't a period piece, but it's set in like 2000 when filmed in 2020. So it's got age to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think her movie, if I remember, was in 2002. Saltburn was in 2002. So she plays with time a lot. I can see where that would work well, but I can't imagine she's going to change the time period enough that it's going to be like illegible dialect that will need its own set of subtitles as if it's a new language.
That's the interesting thing is this just a straight adaptation? Are you like bringing it?
And you know
whatever?
What? This article might have it. I just didn't read it because I didn't give a shit, and I thought you would.
I
maybe you can read the link I sent you later.
So, but I'm excited. Once I see what it looks like and how it's being presented, I'll decide if I want to see it. But I do love Wuthering Heights, and I think anyone that is interested should read it. It's perfect. It's a great read. It's heartbreaking and beautiful.
Heartbreaking and beautiful, hand in hand.
So the last thing we have is to go through the releases of this week. We have Twisters in theaters.
Twisters will be coming to theaters. We'll be going to the I say we, but you haven't made it to the theater.
I have not
in a long time. I think COVID killed the theater for you.
Yeah.
The only thing that will get you there is like Bad Boys.
The big,
which even the new one you didn't go to.
I didn't go to the new one.
You went to the one. We went to the one before it.
We did, and I would have gone to this one. This one was in a weird timing where I was trying to get Real Pixel back up.
No,
and
I didn't go either.
So.
Well, there's also no world I'd go without you to see that one. That doesn't. I mean, come on, it's the duo, right?
Yeah.
But
ride or die.
Ride or die. Is ride. What am I going to do? Ride, not die.
But I rarely make it out there. Mostly, I need like big crazy things or something. Otherwise,
Twisters is not it. No matter if there's one big crazy thing, two big crazy things, flaming big crazy thing.
I mean, Twister, the first one I watched as a kid and I liked it, but it wasn't a movie I went back to. Like Gladiator. Gladiator 2, I'll be there. You know, Deadpool, Wolverine, big movie like that, I'll be there. One, because I want to see the things happen. I don't want to see them on Twitter. I don't want to see it
or whatever. But
I don't want to go through TikTok and have everything spoiled for me, ruining Fast 10 for me. TikTok, thanks a lot.
I just realized. So we're 20 minutes from the wrap up that we want to have.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, man, we're doing so good on time. I forgot we haven't done games.
We haven't done games.
Oh man.
So
wow.
All right, Cobra Kai season 6 is coming out on Netflix. I haven't watched any of the Cobra Kai, but I know it's a great show.
That one's for our boy Dan, our boy CGB.
Shout out.
He's a fan of Cobra Kai.
And then this one's coming to Shudder. How do you pronounce that?
Arcadian.
Is this Arcadian? Okay,
that's the comparison that I visually make myself is It Comes at Night.
Oh yeah,
is that
with the red door?
The red door. It's like It Comes at Night, but it has Nick Cage in it.
Okay.
It's like, oh, there's creatures outside, and I have to protect my family in this building. But there's people.
Was that the one we turned on Shudder and you saw it? And
I was like, hey, Arcadian. Yeah. Okay. So this one I put comes out this week. Actually, this week was like nothing, unless you really care about Too Hot to Handle on Netflix. But Twisters and Cobra Kai come out this week. Arcadian came out this last Friday, but it's the news for people who might care about the horror flicks in the world.
There we go.
I gotta pee.
Welcome back, Stokes.
Hello.
So we're getting into more trailers. This time, a few anime trailers.
I can't believe I pulled these.
I am excited because I don't have a different background. I made an anime background, and you're like, and I was like, oh, we probably won't do that many anime news. And then you send me anime trailers. I was like, I deleted the background.
It was supposed to, whatever.
That's all right. We're gonna watch the trailers, and I got to get this, and then I'm gonna get out of this, and then we're gonna watch. So this is for the Terminator Zero. It's a Netflix animated Terminator show.
This isn't what you think it is. You can't see it yet. But you've been on a collision course your entire life. There's no going back. Not really. It will never, ever stop. There's only one thing standing in between you and him. Me.
That's weird. I didn't hear the dum.
So one, I haven't seen the most recent Terminator, which is, God, I can't remember the subtitle.
Extinction?
Is it Extinction? Because Genesis, or how
Well,
are they weird?
I think it was just called Genesis.
I know it was called Genesis, but it was spelt weird.
You hated that one.
I did see that one. That one wasn't very good. And I'm a rare person that I like 3. A lot of people don't like 3. I thought 3 was good. And Salvation.
Dark Fate.
Wow, where was Extinction? Is there 2 that I haven't seen? What's Extinction?
No, it's not real.
Oh, okay, cool. Dark Fate, I watched the opening for because they did a small clip of de-aged, was it Linda Hamilton and the kid?
Sure. Reese?
No,
Reese, John Connor.
John Connor.
Yeah. But I don't know
and
the actor's
they did a
name.
scene where, Arnold comes and finds him in like Brazil or wherever they're hiding. And they did all de-age and they had a whole scene. And I was like, it was really well done. I was very impressed with that one scene. I didn't see the movie though. I just saw that scene. I went, whoa, this is so cool.
Terminator, man.
And then I didn't go back. Terminator's really cool. I would love for them to go back to horror, which this kind of seems like it. It seems very dark, very scary. But I also don't know where it is in the timeline. Like, Judgment Day comes for us all. Judgment Day came 4 movies ago or whatever. Like, where are we in the world now? What is happening? Who are these characters? I don't know anything. And the trailer didn't give me anything. But I think it looked good. It looked animated well. It looked like it, because a lot of times, sometimes an anime will show you and it's like, cool, half of it's that cool hand-drawn animation and a lot of it's that 3D weird spinning stuff, which can be used well to save budget and time. And
The
then some
water in
people-
here looked great 3D.
Yeah, and some people lean too heavily into it and it's a little awkward for some people. But I thought it looked good. I just don't know where this is in Terminator, if I'm still even in Terminator. Like, I don't know the timelines anymore. So
sure,
I may be a little bit late to the party, but I'll give it a shot, especially if it's on Netflix. I'll watch the first 2 episodes and see if I want to keep going with it. I'm on a run of 1 season animes right now as I trudge through One Piece. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting if this remains a segment. It'll be a lot of me being like, not for me.
That's fair.
Nope.
That's all right. Well, we'll keep it short, but there are some good ones like this one, Demon Lord 2099. We're gonna give it a shot at this trailer and see how this goes.
それは原初の産声、新たなる態度。復活の時、来たれり。最短は水底から浮き上がる感覚に近い。暗い水の底からゆっくりと浮き上がるように意識が上昇していく。そうして500年の時を経て復活した。魔王2099。
Pause.
I didn't pause. Okay.
That exists.
That exists.
That's all I got to say.
I'm not too familiar with Demon Lord, and I didn't even watch or play the Cyberpunk anything. So it looks cool. I probably will be too detached to understand or get any of it, but for the people that are into those, it looks really well done. So that's exciting. That's all I have to say for it. I don't have anything to go on that one. I apologize.
Sick.
But we're gonna get into games. So that's the last section we're doing.
No.
Oh no.
August 8th.
Oh, I completely forgot I added this one.
This is the only thing you added. You wanted to skip right over it.
I forgot. I'm sorry. So actually, the last thing I have is in August 8th, new Pokemon Horizon episodes come to Netflix. If you haven't watched yet, Pokemon New Horizons is the new anime series from Pokemon that does not include Ash Ketchum. So Ash Ketchum didn't finish his journey, but we finished with Ash in the last, I forget the name of the last series, but essentially he ended, and then this one is the new series, new characters, new storyline, and so far it's really good. I finished the first season. I really liked it. I thought it was fun, and I thought it was I mean, I watched a lot of the older Pokemon. A lot of the newer Pokemon I kind of dipped out of. So there might be more of that in the newest one, but I felt like this one had more anime to the Pokemon fights than they have had in the past. So it was enjoyable, and I'm glad to see new episodes come out. So,
and I've watched like 3/4 of this season, so I've also enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's Pokemon.
It's having a fresh start's nice. It's like a comic book thing. You're like, how do I jump into Pokemon as a show right now? I can't just like hit play on something, and you can't. It's across 15 different platforms. You can't get the DVDs anywhere. You can't. It's just impossible. What am I gonna do? Read it?
So
no way.
Something
new, something dubbed, something on Netflix, something. All of the things. I'm like, oh, it's easy for me to just hit play.
Yep. It's really good. And so if you have any interest, it's not like Pokemon was ever going to go away. So it's not like I didn't expect a second season, but I'm glad that it's coming so soon.
Yeah, I think by the time we got it, it was already done in Japan, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we've just been waiting on a dub is like the really the only thing.
Or a Netflix like agreement. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? If it's
that's
long
true.
until Netflix
Did
can
you
put it
know
up.
Infested in France, I believe it's called Vermin. But that movie's a Netflix movie. Like it was produced and created by Netflix.
Oh, really?
In France.
But
over here it's a Shudder movie.
That's weird.
Yeah, I was like, well, there's no international agreement. Just hit play on the right. Like,
I mean, there are different things in different.
There'd have to be, but I imagine it would be so easy to be like, how much are you going to sell this to us for Netflix from Netflix? Oh, 100 euros or francs or whatever.
I mean, that's the big thing with VPNs, right? Is you can get a VPN and put your IP address somewhere.
Well, so it's like, so if I had a VPN now, I could just.
You could have watched Vermin, but Infested on Netflix.
Yeah.
Weird.
I mean, Shudder's always got my money though, so.
Yeah.
And good for them. I'm really glad they got it.
Yeah.
It's just strange.
It is weird. All right. Now can we get to games?
I suppose.
Okay. So what we have here, I am on the wrong screen. Oh, geez.
Culver's.
Kind of a preview to what hopefully we'll be hanging out with and doing a lot on Thursday is we've got the announcement and the video for the Concord Beta. So as we talked about in the Housekeeping in the beginning, me and Stokes will be playing this beta on Thursday for stream, but there is a video that we can watch and take a look at what is coming. So let's do that.
Enemies, take them down.
Call it the healer's touch.
I'll wall them off.
Breaking the laws of physics.
There you have it.
So
Concord.
What's
a
it-
new game, free to play, team-based hero shooter from Firewalk Studios, distributed by PlayStation. Did I say free to play?
Yeah.
This Thursday it's free to play.
This
Because
Thursday.
otherwise it's $40.
It's not free to play later on, yes. Which I think is going to be the biggest hindrance of this game.
Yeah.
Because it's got to really wow me in those 3 days to
Make someone
get
spend
me
$40.
the 40 Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting. Apparently they opened up the beta this last weekend, so it was a closed beta for anyone who pre-ordered.
Yep.
But they opened it to anyone who has PlayStation Plus Premium or whatever that one's called.
Yeah.
Because it is a PlayStation produced game, so makes sense that they would, I suppose, offer something for them. But yeah, a $40 price tag on this game is really interesting in a world where everything else has gone super free to play. I mean, we'll talk about price tags here and more in just a second, but all the same, the 16 different characters. Did you like the girl with the wall in that trailer?
I thought the person playing her, it was way more usable and stuff than I felt like May's wall in
like
Overwatch.
The distance of the wall.
The distance of being able to put it away. And also, I feel like you hit it And it does take a second, but it's like it's there. It doesn't go up. Because a lot of times I would throw a May wall, be just a little bit off,
and you
I
would
would
shoot
just lift
them up into
Exactly.
the air, and then they'd fall backwards through. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously this is going to get a lot of comparisons to Overwatch just for being a hero shooter.
Every hero
at
shooter
all.
does, right? Like
It's unfortunate, but yeah, that is what it's going to be compared to a lot. I thought you'd like her a lot because she is an old white-haired woman named the Duchess.
Awesome.
And I was like, nice. But there is a he was actually in one of the end screen guys. He's doing a little one of these. He is like a revolver, space revolver ninja guy. So they're all alien, not all of them, but a lot of them are alien creatures or spacesuit wearing creatures because it is in space. But
I did find it interesting because I felt like this one, besides the very end, the maps and area and all that stuff looked way more colorful than I remember seeing in the trailer they gave us a little while back. Because at the end, it showed us the place that they were flying around with in the trailer, and it was tan with a little bit of green, maybe some gray. But then the stonework map had a lot of lighting effects and stuff that I saw the purple and a green and a blue.
yeah,
and
it grew on me, and then I was like, oh, it's not gummy.
No.
It's not like I don't know. I can think of another game that has it. It's more high poly, high res than Overwatch,
Right.
but it still has a sort of timeless gumminess to it.
Yeah, but it's also not comic booky like what's that? The punk Fragpunk.
Yeah,
it's not that comic booky kind of eternal. It's its own unique thing.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna there will be space for if you have a really high end gaming console, whether it's PS5, I suppose, or a high end PC that I could see ray tracing being enabled or something like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it's going to run well on almost anything. It looks comfy in that way. Probably a new Unreal Engine or something. Who knows if they have Firewalk has their own engine they use. I haven't seen a tag that explains what it's on
What
yet.
engine, yeah.
But I'm curious to see. But giving you all the characters right away, giving you everything you need when we don't have like a Marvel Rivals or whatever that other one's coming out.
Yep.
Without that out yet, I don't know what is, because I've been getting into Overwatch recently. You've been telling me this game's dead, which is fine. And a lot of people seem to feel that way. I don't, which doesn't bother me, but a lot of people seem to feel this way.
I think
so. I'm thinking if all of those people and maybe even yourself are trying to find the new hero shooter that is PvP based, because of course you're playing First Descendant.
Yep.
You know, there are these other games like Helldivers or something. Is like you got classes and things. But this one being PvP based, it's like it's scratching the itch, but it's just the $40 price point. Which
$40
Overwatch was successcable at the $60 price point when it came out.
That was a different time.
That was a different time.
That was a different time, different landscape.
You know what the break point was for me mentally? Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers.
I'm gonna
never forget.
I'm gonna talk about Lawbreakers till the day I die.
I know.
Because what's interesting about it is I've thought about this with Helldivers and things. I'm like, if people are afraid to pay the $40 or whatever, I think the fear comes from if there aren't other people who buy it and play, you cannot play.
Yes.
If nobody bought the new Destiny expansion but me, I could play
You could
the
still
whole
play
thing.
it.
I mean, as much as I would play, me and if I could convince 5 of my friends to do it, I could do everything the game has ever done.
Has ever offered, yeah.
So that's the thing where it's like, well, I can't convince 11 people to do 6v6
Right.
or whatever the numbers are for this. I can convince my friends to buy this game, I'm sure, but what if it dies? Which I don't think PlayStation will let it. I don't think it can. I don't think whatever. But
I don't think they'll let it die in the time that maybe your $40 wouldn't have been worth it. 3 years from now, they may be like, okay, we're sunsetting it. But at that point, you probably should have gotten your $40 out of the game.
Ideally, yeah. But any of these other live service games that come out that are or aren't free to play and still die or whatever, there's a PvE element to it that, like when Fortnite, did the PvP thing, it was like I paid money for Fortnite and I had a physical copy of the game. And I did it for the save the world. Like I was on it for one other thing, and I was like, this battle royale thing, whatever. If it lives, it lives. If it dies,
It was
who
on
cares?
this stream probably before many, many other streams.
That's true. Yeah, that is actually true. That's why I bought it.
I was gonna say we were probably one of the first people to stream Fortnite, just before it became Fortnite.
It's not only did I pay for Fortnite, I got a disc.
Yeah.
They sell systems that you can't put a disc in now. That's new.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think the $40 will be interesting for it, but $40. I mean, it's funny because with the store, $40 for a game seemed like an infinite amount of money when it's not an expansion to something I'm currently playing or a new Witcher or something like a AAA, you know. But $40 now for a test, I'm like, sure, because if I spend the $40, I know I'll give it the ample amount of time the $40 kind of requires in a way. But God, there's so many cool functions about this game. Have you heard anything about it other than the like? It's, you know, you've got the capture the flag and King of the Hill and the team deathmatch and the whatever. And you're going to get to try those. You're going to try 3 of the maps, which there are more than 3, but you get to try 3 of the maps with all the different modes. I think there's 4 of them you get to try.
And all the characters.
And you get all 16 characters, which is great, that they all feel fleshed out enough without balance, probably, that you get to try them. But what's really great about this is there's a lot of characters that put things down, like the wall. There's a character that puts spores down that like slow enemies and make you faster. All of those are persistent outside of rounds. So if there's a or a search and destroy kind of thing, you can put a wall up, and if no one destroys it, it stays there. You can go and put another wall up
for rounds, like through
in
rounds?
between rounds.
Oh.
It's like, oh, it's almost the end of a round. Put a wall up
because
it'll
I
be there the next round. But with that, you also just don't have limits. So like when she put up that last wall in the trailer, the other wall, unless destroyed, was still there. So that's really great. The other thing is there's 16 characters now. When you go into a match, you pick 12 as that are like a roster.
Okay.
And you get to choose from the 12 as you play, so you can't have every hero available to you.
I do remember this a little bit. But yeah.
What's interesting about that, though, is as you play with a certain character, you play with one character, you can do well enough with them that you earn a buff. We'll say it's a increased range to your weapons. If you keep playing with that character, you have the buff. If you switch characters, you get that buff, and you can earn another one.
Oh.
You can earn reload speed. I'm making these up. They actually, they're more defined, but they are these things. If you switch to a third character, you now have increased range, reload speed, and movement speed, and you can move forward to the next one. And you can get up to 5 buffs in a map,
one game?
In one game, so that in the round you feel like you're growing in some capacity, and it encourages you to switch characters. Because if you don't switch, you still, I mean, the game is probably going to feel balanced where you don't need the buff. It's not as much movement speed, I did say that, but it's things like recoil, which is such a small thing in the grand scheme, but like recoil does matter still. So it's an incentive to switch, but it's not a game breaking. Like you only unlock this character's ultimate if you have played 3, it's nothing like that. So I'm really interested to see people just constantly switching characters.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of thinking I'm not just going to be a one trick, and I don't have to play against one tricks. And the roster is also interesting considering there are healers, tanks, DPS,
I also think that helps because not all the game types, but in my head, in like a capture the flag game, you might be playing really heavy early on as like aggressive. And say you get a flag cap and it's first to 3 or whatever, and now
you want to turtle,
and all of a sudden, it's like let's turtle. It's incentivizing to switch a character to turtle instead of being like, well, I've already got this character like in Overwatch in a way. I already have this character's ult up. I don't want to switch until I have to throw this ult because if I do, then I lose that, and that could throw off the whole timing of everything.
I've had that same thought, or. Somebody I heard talking about this game brought up, they're like, well, in Overwatch, sometimes you need that it's 20 seconds that you need to be on the objectives to put it into overtime so that your team can catch up or whatever. So your DPS will switch to a Tracer just to zip up there or a Lucio or a whoever and try to fly around it and jump and skate. And it's like you might get those things in here as well. But if you do, you're also going to be gaining value. And the value isn't in gaining or using an ultimate, it's in getting a buff that's going to be persistent. Even if you get that capture and now there's a third capture because you pushed it to game 7, we'll call it. Well, now you still have that buff and you can do whatever and you've got persistence. And if people don't shoot things, but apparently what's great, the game's also super vertical. It's just got a lot of things I'm excited to try. And $40 for me now, like I said, I'm willing to put $40 on a try of a game after an open beta, and if this game makes it so I don't have to buy as many skins as I can earn, that's another reason. I love collecting skins and the collectathon style thing, so I'll be trying to get all the skins. But that might be something that we've been looking for a hero shooter. We've been trying to take something quote unquote seriously or whatever, play something more competitive. I've been playing so much Overwatch that is competitive and feeling really good about it. The best thing about this I keep hearing is that a lot of the guns, the DPS, the damage, the floatiness of everything, the movement feels a lot like Destiny.
Oh, okay.
Which the PvP is not going to be like that because you don't have to go grind for weapons. Your character has the weapon they have, and the issues you have with it seem to fade, and the things that I'm used to seem to push forward. So I'm excited.
And for anyone that's interested, that its beta is happening. You saw the dates, but I believe in the article that I have up here, I read that you can start pre-install it tomorrow, Wednesday. What's the date today?
The 17th.
The 17th at 1 o'clock Eastern. I don't know all the
so
other
just the
time
day
zones.
before.
Yeah, I don't know all the other time zones. They might be correlated because I know 1 o'clock Eastern is when the beta goes live on Thursday. So check out the time zones. Actually, I think if I can, I think this had. Nope. I thought this had the map. It must have been a different article.
Oh, the map.
The pulled up that had the map of all the times. But so you can pre-install it if you're like, well, time-wise, sometimes it's like, oh, I want to get home and play, but then I got to wait an hour to download depending on your internet and stuff like that. You could get it pre-installed so you're ready to go. And it'll be the time to play it for free before you do have to spend the $40 to know if you want to play it. So I'm excited. I was really excited because I was thinking I was going to play Elden Ring this Thursday, but I'm excited I get a new game to play.
Try something new.
Yeah.
It's a hero shooter we've been looking for.
Yep.
We're hopeful.
So I think this is the last little thing we have, and it's the Xbox.
Well, I don't think we mention it. It's too big a thing. It's huge. I mean, we can just say Xbox Game Pass is changing. There are new models for how they're going to do it. The interesting thing is now there are 2 Xbox Game Pass versions that don't include day one games.
Oh, really?
And that's the link that I sent is not an article. It is just a graph. You don't have to worry about it, but I can explain the graph pretty simply now.
Go ahead. I'll see if I can find it, but you can definitely.
So there are 4 types of Game Pass. The one that I'll mention right away is PC Game Pass only. It's cheaper just because it doesn't include as many games that don't come to PC. So that one's $12 a month. That one does include day one games, but you're more limited on what you can play. There's just not as many games on it. But the 3 that are for the console, one of which actually includes PC as well. So it's like a super ultimate mega bundle, collect it all. The base level. Core Game Pass, $10 a month. You get a limited catalog of games. They say 25 plus, it's just limited. But mainly what you're paying for is what used to be Xbox Live Gold. You're just paying for the ability to play with people online, to join parties, to whatever. You have access to their discounts for being a core member, as they say it, and whatever.
Yeah.
The next step is the one that people are more used to, and that it's Game Pass standard. It's $15 a month. You get the large library of games that they list as hundreds, which is true. The list is not getting smaller by the day. That's for sure.
Yeah. A lot of great games on Game Pass. I've played a lot of them.
The interesting thing, though, is it says day one game editions are to be added at a future date for these subscribers. So what's a good day one game? Halo? Maybe.
Sure.
Multiplayer is free, right?
Gears of War, that's coming.
Oh, yeah, Gears of War. That's a good one because it's coming out. Gears of War will be one that if you're paying $15 a month, you will not be able to play. If it comes out on the holiday, maybe you'll be able to play it by the summer. I don't know the timelines. I don't know when things become or exit day one, but that's when you won't be able to catch immediately. The difference to be able to play day one games is $5 more a month. So it's $20 a month total. You get everything listed before. You get the catalog, you get the gold, you get the day one. You do get EA Play, Riot Games things for Valorant, which come into console. You get it for the League of Legends thing when you go over. You do get PC Game Pass for it as well, so you can play the games on PC. But you also, that's the only one that has access to Xbox Cloud Gaming, which I mentioned because today's Prime Day, one of 2 Prime Days. And they have a bundle right now for like $80. That is an Xbox controller, the 4K Ultra HD Fire Stick or whatever, and a month of Ultimate. So this is for anyone who doesn't have Game Pass currently and is going to subscribe going forward. Anyone who's paid for a year worth of Game Pass has what they have. Like, they're not just stopping it and changing it on everybody. But it's interesting that now they're trying to sell like a cloud bundle, essentially, is what they're doing. So for $20 a month and with a Fire Stick and a controller, you don't need a console. And that's like a marketing message they're pushing. They have new graphics and iconography to show, like, here's just a TV, a controller, and all this stuff, no system.
I find that the most interesting thing about that for me is, one, I play Halo every week. It's the game that I've been playing for decades at this point, and it's the big Xbox game that I've been playing. I tried to do that on cloud gaming when I had to do my challenges when we had the store open. I was like, let me try to do it on the phone real quick so I could get my challenges. I don't have to play hard. I just have to do basic things. A lot of them are just
finish
complete
a
games.
match or
And it just couldn't do it.
Oh, it's a nightmare.
So,
well, I haven't tried Xboxes in particular.
Right. And this was
it's a nightmare.
a year, 2 years ago or whatever. So when I hear that it's coming to Fire Stick, I'm like, that's so cool. If
you better not want to play an FPS.
Exactly. If you better not want to play an FPS online. I'm sure if I dropped it in Halo Infinite and just went through the campaign, I'm sure it'd probably be okay because everything's contained. But as soon as you try to go online and play with other people, which I would say is a big chunk of gaming, like a majority even. Maybe a majority strong, but like
I would say not by majority of titles, probably by majority of time and majority of player count. Yeah, I would probably say that.
So it's like
that's a guess.
So I understand, and I've heard a lot that Xbox, Microsoft, whatever is moving towards an idea of not needing a console, doing it a different way, which would be cool.
We've got like with Shadow PC, it's real. We have people that streamed VR in that and didn't get their motion sickness things and stuff. So it's like it's possible.
Yeah.
And to speak on cloud gaming, because I know you tried using it for Halo challenges only is all I've ever known you to want to do with it. I, on the other hand, like Shay wanted to watch the new episode of The Bachelorette that just came out.
Okay.
I wanted to play Assassin's Creed. We own one television. We have one large, very nice television. And I was like, well, that's fine.
You told her, too bad, you're playing
I
Assassin's Creed.
said, yep, so here's an iPad and a binky. No, just kidding.
Go into your room.
Here's a rose. I love you. Go away. No. I said, let me go get my binky.
I'll curl up on the couch.
I'll go curl on the couch. No, I have a backbone that plugs into my phone, PlayStation partnered backbone.
Ooh.
Oh. And my phone was almost dead. I plugged it right into the backbone, plugged the backbone into my phone, and I played Assassin's Creed on there for probably about an hour and a half until I was like, I'm just tired. I'm going to bed. But it's like a PlayStation Portal, but it's just on my phone because it's an app. It's just like Xbox Cloud Gaming is an app. And when we had the store and I was coming in 3 hours before we opened for carpooling reasons, I almost beat Hogwarts Legacy in its entirety. Like if I were to look at my PlayStation account, it says I've played 2 hours, but I've almost beaten the game. That was me playing exclusively on the backbone. So these third-person games, the RPG style, it's not fast twitch, it's not precision, it's not I'm not trying to play Celeste and I'm not trying to do Destiny on there, but they all function fantastically. In fact, sitting on the couch, I was like, maybe I should get a Portal. Maybe this is great enough. I would like for Shay to be able to watch the new season of Too Hot to Handle, which comes out this week on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just play my game on there with zero lag. I had no lag. I had an input delay, which was small, the reason you can't do FPSs, but negligible on Assassin's Creed. The only thing is I have, essentially Joy-Cons, and I just didn't like that. I was like, give me a PlayStation controller with a bigger OLED tablet in the center of it.
Now, if this leads to Xbox going, or I say Xbox, Microsoft, I guess as a whole, being like, we're not doing a new Xbox, but we're going to push cloud gaming, and guess what? All those games are going to be on the PC. A console is just a PC at this point. They're essentially the same thing. I'll just play Halo on the PC with a controller. That's okay. I hope they don't go too far into you can play it everywhere in this cloud. And I can't see them forgetting about PC, but like having that like mindset,
the weird middle ground that we
into
haven't
Apples or Fire Sticks.
The weird middle ground that we haven't seen or tried yet is the $150 console that is like a Fire Stick, but it's only for Xbox. How does that process different? Is there a different input level, like an input delay? Like what does that mean? Because the information that one would read off of a disc back in the day can be streamed just as fast. Like so if disc equals stream, there's still a box to register my input in time. Is there a difference between the input delay I suffered on a 360 versus, which is minimal?
Yeah. If
I can't feel that, then is it real?
Yeah, if the Xbox Series blank is the size of an Apple TV and I just put it up there and it doesn't play games and I put in discs or anything, but my controller attaches to it and it goes on the TV, I think that's almost better. It's less space.
The difference is, I said 150. We can pretend that's the number. It's 150, and it is $20 a month or this system doesn't exist to you anymore.
Right.
Which, who has an Xbox and doesn't have Game Pass? You're a psychopath.
That is true.
Or you don't have internet. Like that. I guess there
is a world where you
somebody
don't
who
have
doesn't
some sort of internet or whatever.
Yeah,
and
you're
point,
in the boonies or you've got whatever, but you're not listening to us if that's the case.
Yeah, but it's also weird because if you rewind to the announcement of the Xbox One, it's like you have to be online at all time, and everyone was like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, it's
y'all
like,
got phones, don't you?
Now we're like,
not that one. That's the one.
Yeah, now we're like, well, yeah, just be online, it'll be fine. So it's interesting where they're going. I mean, prices are increasing everywhere.
That's right, because PlayStation put out the how you share a game on,
and it's just handed over.
They hand the disc over. Dude, that was fire. But now I'm like, I bought that game on a disc. Fortnite on disc. Oh man, I'm looking in the mirror. What have I become? But whatever. I'm installing the movie shelves tomorrow. Actually, they come. They come a couple days early.
That's exciting.
What have I become? Someone who hoards discs and tapes.
So, besides that kind of pushing, the idea of them creating new models and different pricing and essentially the price increase because
even at base level, it's still like $1 or $2 increase. If you were to go from ultimate to standard, I think it's still like $2 to just have the catalog of games. But it's inevitable. Like Netflix is what, like 40 billion in the hole? Like a number that's unquantifiable mentally because of the level of productions they have. It's the same thing here of like, you can't play 100 games at $20 or $15 a month. Like that math doesn't work.
And for
$15 a month towards games used to be every quarter, every season. Or no, once every 3 months you would get a new game at $60.
Yeah.
That's 3 games a year. You're playing more than 3 games a year on this. Who's getting the money? How does it divvy? It's kind of the Writers Guild kind of strike of like, who's getting paid here? How are they getting paid? And where's my $15 going if it's not to this little indie developer?
Yeah.
So.
It's not to the people that made Party Animals that we just played with.
Yeah, although I do imagine that Microsoft is saying, we're going to give you a hefty sum of money to be on Game Pass and take that cut. Take the whatever. And Game Pass still gets you 20% off games. If you want to buy it so that you can share it with somebody, because game sharing is very real and alive, it's 20% off now. Yeah. And you can buy it still. I mean, I've had games that are, I think Coral Island's on Game Pass, right?
I believe so.
I played it on Game Pass on PC because I have PC Game Pass. And I still went to Steam and bought it because I was like, I want these people to have my money. And it was $25 or something. So
cool. Well, see, we got through it. I think it's a big thing. And I think
we're also 15 minutes past.
We're a little bit over, but
we're fine.
We're getting the legs under us. The housekeeping went probably a little long in the tooth, but we'll get better at it.
We'll hone it in.
Thank you so much for hanging out today. If you're here live on twitch.tv/RealPixel, thank you. If you're not and you're seeing this later, you could be live with us at twitch.tv/RealPixel. Or you could check out the VOD on YouTube. We're under Real Pixel there. And if you were like, hey, I just want to make sure I know where everything's happening, when it's coming out, where I can find it, Patreon, we're on there. It's a free account. You can just jump on, grab it. Everything we do is going to be in that one hub. We're going to post when our VODs go live, when we're live on Twitch, any announcements, schedules. After this, I'm literally going over the computer. I'm going to post the week schedule that we talked about in the beginning. So Patreon is where you're going to find all that stuff, and it's going to keep one little place. And I think I like doing stuff that way.
Well, we're using it like the social media, right?
Exactly.
It's all the posts, the updates, whatever. But it's a social media where we can also post the full video.
We can put the video, we can
VOD,
put the audio. Everything's there for you, and it's all in line. And you can give it. I made nice collections, so if you're just interested in the podcast, there'll be its own collection. You can just click into that and just see those updates. So, and it would really be nice if everyone followed there, because then I could contact and talk to people a little bit easier than having to figure out where the best way is. Last time we did this, we had Discord, Twitter, all the different things, and it was just hard to get everybody on the same page. This way, we're going to Patreon. It has a great system, and there are money-making systems later on. We're not there yet, but it's just free, so we can get the information to you. So anywhere there, that would be great. Other than that, that was the first episode. I hope you liked it. Like I said, we'll get better at it. We'll get it maybe trimmed down a little bit, trim the fat, you know?
Yeah.
But thanks for hanging out. Stokes, would you like to do the outro?
I don't remember it.
All right, the outro.
Hey.
Thank you. Thank you for the biddies.
James.
Appreciate it.
The biddies.
Appreciate it. So our outro, but Stokes thought it up, but I'll preach it out. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you for breakfast.
That's right. Man, I'm so smart.